Discord murder party, let's see who's gonna die. The god of death is ready to see who has to say bye-bye. It could be a writer or a nurse, but why does the seer always die first? Discord murder party, get ready for a game of blood and death.
I mean, a fun game with friends where nothing bad happens. Right, guys?
Hello and welcome to the Discord Murder Book Club. Let's see who's gonna book. This is a DMP retrospective, and I am joined by a number of humans who helped me work on the show. First of all, we are joined by my best friend, my partner in crime, my best friend, my worst enemy, and my partner in crime, my nemesis, Alex Beckham. I'm sorry, I'm dealing with a lot today.
So, did I hear you correctly when we were playing the intro, and did you call it an anime OP?
I don't think I did.
I distinctly remember hearing, alright, the OP is over, we're going into hard life.
OP? That doesn't mean it's an anime OP inherently.
Inherently, by calling it an OP, it becomes anime.
I mean, listen, we called all of the different DMP openings the OPs for the entirety of the show's existence, because DMP was an anime. There's no getting around this.
Okay, I'm glad I got you to admit we're in a fucking anime.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, obviously we're in an anime.
Trigger, Madhouse,
Yeah,
anyone?
exactly. I am also joined by my lovely wife, the lovely QueenCreeps.
Hello. I just want you all to know that as soon as DMP ended, I took great measures to fix my sleep schedule, and I will willingly sacrifice it again to come back.
Here we are, about to make your sleep schedule the worst again. You and a few of our viewers. I'm sorry.
Hooray.
We're also joined by Scott.
Hey all, hope everyone's having a good evening. I know we are not at that point yet, but I brought this to everyone in the call's attention, but I would like to let the record show that I am wearing a cowboy hat right now.
That is
so,
delightful to know. Thank you for informing me.
You are very welcome.
Yes, apparently Queen is in ASMR mode, so next time Queen, I have you turned up to like 200%, so you might need to turn yourself up.
Yep.
I know it's early o'clock for you, so that's probably part of it.
No, I'm up to like 72%, but I'll turn myself up a bit more.
Thank you.
See, not only did I reset my sleep schedule, I also reset my microphone setting.
Ah, I see. We're also joined by Darby.
Oh, hello, friends. How are you doing today?
We are, well, right now there's a lot of chaotic energy, as is to be expected with the return of anything DMP related. So I'm gonna get rid of the little front so then you all can just like kind of see. There will be other visual aids, but for now this is what we've got, and now you can all see us talking with our little icons. Right, so, DMP Book Club. So this is, I could stand to have like some lo-fi going, but I don't have any right now, and I'm just gonna have to live with that because the stream has started, and I'm realizing how I'm like, oh my god, there's no lo-fi. I'm so anxious right now.
There's no lo-fi.
I don't know what to do.
How could you?
Anyway, like I was saying, sorry about that. Okay, so as you all may know, DMP was almost a full DMP ago. Like, that's how long it's been since the show ended. I must regretfully say that this show started in January 2018, which was 7.5 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh god. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry to let us all know that time has passed. We are literally turning to dust as we speak in front of your eyes.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh, and like the video game industry, we are going to be deleting every single video at a time of our choosing, so no one can ever see it or play it again.
No, we would never do that. That would be so mean. No, we're not doing that.
I'm going to get the password to Internet Remix and just delete Discord Murder Party.
No, don't do it.
I'm
Please.
also going to delete the TV tropes page so that no one there can
Right,
see
right,
what
right.
Discord Murder Party was.
Okay. To be fair, that thing hasn't been updated in ages, so I don't think that will be missed.
Mm-hmm. Oh my fucking god! Yeah, I was like, Crimes. You were old when I started watching. I hate to think about that. You are dust now.
All right, hopefully that helps.
Oh my god.
Am I too loud
A
now?
little
Sorry.
too hard in the
Yeah.
opposite direction.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
hold on. Let me split the difference. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
God,
Like
suddenly
in the call. but-
suddenly Darby was like in my ear, speaking directly into my ears with his deep, beautiful tones. God. Well, so when we started this show, I was 28, and I'm now 35. And as my birthday is December 26th, and June 26th was almost a month ago, I am officially at the midway point of my 30s. So, woohoo!
Don't worry, Kristen. Some of us are almost there.
What?
You
It's
won't be
fine. It's
alone.
fine. Look, it's fine. I'm finally. Honestly, I mind getting to be this old because my body is extremely unhappy with me. But in terms of how I look, I'm only just now having people starting to assume I'm like in my late teens, early 20s. And as the years go by, that only gets funnier. So, in terms of my age, I mostly don't mind because it's very funny. Yeah, I know, I finally hit puberty.
Wow, congratulations. Also, guess who started up a lo-fi activity in Discord?
Who?
Thank you.
It's me, bitch.
Oh my god, it was you? Thank you. Let's see if I can do that while also sharing, You would let me do this? That's the question.
Yeah, I think I went from looking like 24 to 36 all like over one night. Like I just suddenly started looking my age at some point.
I don't think it'll let me actually use your activity while I'm streaming my screen.
Wow, incredible.
Well,
I started looking like I was
Hang
in my
on.
late teens to early 20s.
gonna-
Now, oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna pull up some Luke Rimbo. Go ahead, keep going.
Oh, fine.
Okay.
I started by looking like I was in my late teens to early 20s, and now people still think I look like I'm in my late teens to early 20s, despite the
Yes.
fact that I am in my early 30s. Thanks, God.
God.
Wow.
Well, I feel that. Alright, that's going. We're gonna... and everything should be fine. I'm playing some lo-fi. Let me know if any of the audio is off, folks. As is the case with any DMP-related thing, and really the case with any of my streams, it's a work in progress, and we're doing our best to adjust. Anyway... Right, so, like I said, this is our Discord Murder Book Club is our DMP recap podcast. It's a book club of sorts, one might say, almost an awakened book club, perhaps, wherein we are going to, we're gonna go through all the DMP episodes and talk about them. Ideally, I'm hoping to have different cast members on different things. If people can't make it, I'm hoping to at least do a little like interview with them so folks can talk about stuff if anything major happened with their characters. I don't know if every episode. So this episode is the first 5 episodes because like, that's when we were realizing this was gonna be a show, so that's a little different from the rest of the show. So yeah, we're here to talk about the first 5 episodes of DMP. Hooray! And as is the case with all other DMP related things, we don't know what we're doing and we're just kind of gonna like roll with it. Yeah, the pre-plot episodes basically, SK Bennett.
The Genesis, if you will.
The Genesis.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I wanted to be here because I wasn't here for this first season, and this will be an interesting.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Discord Murder Party was made on a wing and a prayer, and really nothing establishes this more. than the first 3 episodes, and then the first 5 episodes, episodes 4 and 5 were like, fuck, we gotta establish a plot, fuck, oh shit!
Yep. And then season 1 is like, okay, we have a plot now, and then we get to the end of season 1, we're like, yeah, now we know what we're doing, surely nothing's gonna change that much after this point!
Yeah.
Can I just say, I'm not normally the kind of person who gets embarrassed by my own voice or my old work, or anyone else's old work for that matter, but listening to the first episode of Discord Murder Party, I could hear the early development of this series, and I was just like,
Yeah, it's really something. We'll get to that, but before we get into, like, DMP itself, I want to talk about, we want to address some things here. So first of all, I want to acknowledge that, like, an amount of, yes, Crimes is mic quality in the first 2 DMPs. We'll get there. We'll get to my mic quality. This is very funny. We'll get to it. Okay, so name changes, like I said. So an amount of time has passed, so some cast members have changed their names, and we're gonna try to keep that in mind. If we end up messing things up on occasion, which might happen because some of these guys, I know I at least don't always hang out with, so for me, I'm like, I have not fully made the switch with some of these people, but we're gonna do our best. So, with that in mind, Jojo Soda is currently going by Gargale, aka Gale, so we're gonna go with that. Jordan Upgraded Moon is going by Roland, so that's what we're calling him. Adric is currently going by Nissa. Pronouns are she, they. Classy/diva is Maiden. You probably know her. It's like she's on Man on the Internet or something. Lastly, Shiner is in a few of the episodes. She is going by Izzy. She's also a VTuber. Wow. Hooray! Wow. Yeah, very exciting. I think that's all the name changes I can think of currently, unless anyone can think of any that I'm missing, but I think that's all of them.
No, I think that's it.
I think that's it, yeah.
Alright, cool. Right, so, before we do anything else, I want to talk about, like, the beginning of this show, the very start, because there are some things to show you guys, some things to talk about. So first, I have to show you, before we even start anything, I need to show you this from the original IR Discord server from October 20th, 2017.
Jesus.
Yes, that's how long ago this was. IR had like a server before the main server we use, and in that one, my nickname is still Kristen the Murder God. That's how old this is. Yeah, I don't know why I was saying, aw, poor Dream Steal. I did not look at the context. I just went into that and typed werewolf. I went, from me has werewolf, because I wanted to see what would come up. And this is what came up, which is, I need you to know at this point, I was desperately slaving to finish, Xander and I were making a comic for Geeks for Good, and by Xander and I mean I was making a comic for Geeks for Good at this point. I was scrambling to get this fucking thing done on time, and I felt like I did not have time, because, you know, this thing had to go out on Halloween, and it was October 20th. But my IRL friends are well, guys, my IRL friends are having a Halloween party, and I just really want to go, but I should probably work. But also, when I said maybe I couldn't make it, the friends all went, but Kristen, there's gonna be so many of us, and we all want you to run Werewolf. And I'm just like, oh no, I love running Werewolf so much, and we'll have the perfect number of people for it. I just, maybe I'll just go anyway. I did go, and I did in fact run Werewolf, and we all had a great time. And this, I think, is a good example of like why this happened in the first place. Because DMP was actually birthed. But, well, so first of all, I guess I should explain. I guess I can keep playing the lo-fi right now. Okay, so I first learned to play Werewolf in like 2013. My friend Ethan, who used to work with me at Jimmy John's, maybe you've heard of him.
We're not gonna What's Up Tiger
I'm not gonna What's Up Tiger Lily us. We have way too much to get into today. But yeah, so he was like, do you want to play this game called Werewolf? And I go, yeah, sure. So we play it, we have a good time. I play this game several times, and we have a great time every time. And then as Ethan's running this thing, I think to myself, I would like to run werewolf. And actually, not only do I want to run werewolf, I kind of want to mix it up. So I'm like, hey, can I run werewolf? And Nathan goes, yeah, sure. Okay, so in the city where I lived, there's the Grand River, which is the river that goes all the way through Michigan. There's a bunch of bridges in that city that are going over that river, and in the middle of the river, there's this island that at the time folks called Hobo Island because that's where all the hobos stayed. There was this old train bridge that went over it that was no longer in use, and there was this ladder that had been made out of like various debris and things that you could use to get down onto the island. We went there once. It was great. So I was like, I'm gonna run werewolf, but I'm gonna say that actually this is Hobo Island werewolf. And so, which is maybe a little insensitive, but that is unfortunately the birth. So I had a lot of fun with this, and from that point on, I decided, you know what, this is super fun. All I want to do is run werewolf. So basically, every time we had enough people to play werewolf, I would be pushing people to play it, and I would basically always be coming up with a new thing for it. We had one where we had a party and we had like we had a bonfire out back, and then we had tiki torches. So that's the first one where I ran Reality Island because we were able to actually light some tiki torches and then blow them out. We also did one where, like, my friend really liked cats, so we threw a surprise party that was cat-themed and involved a lot of really stupid meme pictures of cats, because I'm a really cool person. So we had one that was just, you are all cats in Cat Town. Everyone tell me your cat names. This is very important. But I was really into doing this. I had a lot of fun, and the people involved had... I think some people had fun. Others did not. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing this for many years. Most prominently, the friends that I went and met for this Halloween party were the folks I used to work with at like that print shop. And one of those friends had a pet corgi. And so we were all like, we fucking love corgis. So that's when I was like, okay, so the danger here is were-corgis, and everybody's in a quaint little British village, and everyone, of course, was delighted by this, because we all loved Melon, which was my friend's corgi. Melon was the best. We love Melon.
What a great name for
Stand
a
Melon in this. Yeah, we stand Melon in this house.
Yeah, Melon has tragically passed since, but he was a very good boy, and for some reason he just hated windowsills, and he would just jump up and try to bite at them. We don't know why he hated, just specifically windowsills. He was great. But yeah, so anyway, this is all to say I really liked running werewolf. So cut to when I'm like super fucking into this little YouTube channel called Man on the Internet, and it's like all I can fucking think about. And I go for a run because that's what I used to do. I used to run back before my body exploded. And as I got back from my run in my vague haze of endorphins, as I'm sitting here stretching, I'm like, what if I joined Man on the Internet and then I could get all my heroes to play werewolf? Wouldn't that be so cool? And then I was just really thinking about how cool that would be. And then I'm like, Kristen, you gotta stop thinking like this. There's no way you're ever actually going to meet or interact with any of these people in any capacity other than leaving long YouTube comments.
Surely never.
Well,
Yeah. There's no way that could ever happen. Cut to, you know, January 2018. I have joined Internet Remix. I was hired as an artist and as a writer, and I thought to myself, I don't think I'm gonna be in any streams, because, like, why would anybody want me to be in any streams? But Xander asked if I wanted to be a part of a Tomb of Annihilation, and I went, yeah, sure, okay, I'll be in that. And then suddenly we couldn't run Tomb of Annihilation that week, so, it was like, okay, well, I guess instead, and then I was like, wait, you mean to tell me there's an open stream day? And everyone went, yeah, that's right. There's an open stream date. Let's see here. So, yeah, there's an open stream date. And I went, what if we got my friends to play Mafia? Wouldn't the werewolf? I'll be honest, I actually didn't know this game was called Mafia until everybody, like, told me. My version of this game is just werewolf. So I say, hey, can we play werewolf? And folks go, yeah. And Alex made this announcement in like a few minutes, and we're now gonna watch it together as a family.
Oh boy.
You ready?
Oh god.
Sure.
Let me know if you guys can hear this.
Okay.
Man, I love Internet Remix. I just wish they would play a party game that was not Dungeons and Dragons. If only they played something like Mafia/Werewolf. And if only the narrator was Kristen. Well, you're in luck, oddly specific man who is obviously not a paid actor. When do I get my $20? Later. Tonight on Internet Remix's Twitch, we will be playing Mafia/Werewolf/ that game where someone murders people and the others try to guess who is murdering them. Featuring wacky characters, murder, shenanigans, murder. And did I mention murder because I think I forgot murder? Come join the fun and discover how a bunch of people who can't see each other's faces can possibly play werewolf/mafia. Dungeons and Douchebags will return to its regular schedule soon, we swear.
God, incredible. So, yeah. Yeah, so, incredible.
Incredible.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
That's the quality you can expect from Alex Beckham.
Alex Beckham, you are a living Toby Fox Tumblr husband.
It's true. It's true. God. So yeah. So this is all to say, Alex made that, and I badgered a bunch of people to play, and then we didn't quite have enough people. So that's when I was like, hey, can folks involved with Chrono Trigger the musical join? Because we needed more people. So yeah, so then I was like, here everyone, here's the rules for DMP, aka werewolf, but like with chats. And here's me explaining how this game works, because I guess I was really concerned that maybe people wouldn't know how to play werewolf. You'll need one narrator, that's me, Kristen. At least 8 players, best up to 10. Players need to be good sports, which I only say because man have I seen people get mad about getting murdered in a game about murder. At least an hour to play. A little bit of prep time. Discord, so you can send the narrator that sweet, sweet information. Roles, 8 players. There are murderers, fairly obvious, you get to kill 2 people. Seer, you may look at one player's role. Gardener, you get to give the other player flowers. That's a gross simplification. Townsfolk, you get to be worried because everyone is dying. Woohoo! Names of role. An 8-player game will usually take 2 to 3 rounds. A 10-player game will take 3 to 4. Oh, I guess also there's the thing about the... Oh, I see. Okay, so this is 8 players. 10 players, we include the witch, can choose to save one dying person or kill one person with their rad powers. You just really like guns. When you die, you kill another player in a blaze of glory. And occasionally I would say gunsman or something, but like, you just really like guns is funnier. So, anyway.
Yeah.
8-player game will usually take 2 to 3 rounds. 10-player game will usually take 3 to 4. Names of roles may change to fit the theme, but I'll keep you updated so you don't get the confused. Prep. Narrator gets get the confused, yes. I'm very funny. Prep. Narrator gets a head count of whom will be playing. Narrator uses a random number generator to assign roles and sends each player their role ahead of time, so the players have time to think up character stuff. I did not use a number generator, I just used the werewolf cards I had, and then eventually I stopped using the werewolf cards I had. I don't know when I stopped using the cards, but I did at least use cards for a while. Sends each player the role ahead of time, so players have time to think up character stuff. Keep characters simple, since these games are pretty short. Players do not tell each other what their role is. This is very important. Do not tell other people that you're a murderer or a seer or whatever. It's a secret! Narrator sets up a chat for the murderer party to discuss their murders. Game. Narrator introduces the setting and allows time for players to introduce themselves and their characters. Players do not tell each other their roles! I feel really intense about this because my younger brother he kept revealing his role when it wasn't time to tell people, and later I figured out it was because he didn't want to be a townsfolk, he wanted to be something more interesting. Anyway, narrator triggers the night phase. Narrator asks the murderers to decide in their little murder chat who they want to kill. Narrator asks the seer whose role they would like to know. Seer DMs the narrator with a name. The narrator sends a role back. Narrator asks the gardener whom they would like to give a flower to. Gardener DMs the narrator with the name. For 10-player games, narrator sends the witch the name of the person who is slated to be murdered and tells the witch they have the option to save that person. Narrator will then ask the witch if they want to kill anyone. In which case, both cases, the witch DMs yes or no. Wow, it's daytime and someone's dead! Or not if the witch saved them. Then I ask about nominating the sheriff. Then y'all discuss amongst yourselves, and I talk about how in order to proceed, players must formally accuse a suspect and someone else must formally second it, i.e. I formally accuse Kristen. I second that because she's the most suspicious. The first accuser, this is a typo, then presents their argument against the accused. Afterwards, the accused offers their defense. Players then vote to lynch the accused. If enough votes are in favor, the accused dies. Their role is revealed and the narrator begins the night phase again. You get it. If there are 3 formal accusations and no one is lynched, a random act of God happens and the narrator kills a player because the narrator demands blood. Apparently, oh yeah, because I used to play this game that if there were 3 formal accusations, then I just do an act of God. But I realized that 3 formal accusations on stream took too long, which is why I ended up switching to doing 10 minutes eventually.
You're taking too long.
You're taking too long.
It's taking too long.
Taking too long.
God, I'm gonna make this a little smaller because I can't see I need to be able to see my own goddamn chat. So, you're taking too long. Don't move, please. Too long. Anyway, day and night phases continue until both murderers are caught. Oh yeah, once a player is dead, they are forbidden from saying anything besides spooky ghost because they are a spooky ghost, obviously. Notes. Usually this game is played with people acting as themselves, but I'm giving us prep time because it leaves people open to choose characters for themselves. Usually when this game is played, people are unsure of who the murderers might be in the first round. I think with characters, the motivation becomes more character-based, which could be more fun. I will message you with each role that you have and which theme that corresponds with. Silly names are encouraged, but please let me know in advance. Maybe we could make some cards to put up with our IR sonas and the silly name beneath each person to help viewers know who's who. That sounds like a great idea, past me.
It sounds awesome. I can't wait to implement that.
I wonder when that's gonna get implemented. God, so yeah,
We're professionals.
So fascinating to see what this was originally. So yeah, so basically I sent that out and like I said, we didn't have enough people in IR, so then I was like, okay, we'll get a couple people from Chrono Trigger the musical. Cool. So we did that, and let's see here, I think I had one more thing from my visual things, which was me going, okay, yeah, I guess if you're in Discord Murder Party, hop into the general chat in the Chrono Trigger the musical server. I'll be there shortly, currently fighting with my laptop because of course it has chosen now to not cooperate with me. Uprising's like, maybe I'll be a little late. Gail says, okie dokie. Phil says, would it be worth setting up a private DM so peeps don't accidentally join? Oh, that might be a good idea. I'll do that once my laptop is cooperating. This was dangerously close to almost being just in the Chrono the Trigger the musical server. Which is insane. Just absolutely batshit. So wild, crazy. And so then I proceeded to make the DMP server, which, fun fact, most of you guys never see the icon for the DMP Discord server, but it's white with like a single blood splatter on it. I literally just like made a 100 by 100 square in Photoshop, grabbed my blood splatter blush, just slapped it on there, and then went, okay, there you go, that's the icon. And I thought to myself, maybe I'll make a different one later if we keep doing this, but honestly it ended up being iconic enough that I think it doesn't matter. It's still the same to this day, I have not changed it.
Beautiful.
Yes. Anyway, so we are on to our very first scenario. That's right, gang, it's time. So,
must we?
Oh, yes, we must. Alright.
Yes, we must.
Okay.
So, episode 1. So the first scenario was, of course, where Corgis of Villagington. As we all know at this point, the very first episode was, the very first line was Uprising saying that she was setting emails to Disturb. I don't remember what prompted this. I assume we were talking about trying to keep things quiet or under control for the stream, and Uprising responded, but we'll never know what the source of setting emails to Disturb was. So everyone's just kind of chaotic, and finally I'm like, are we? And I was like, we're live, and we've been live for like a solid 30 seconds. Anyway, I proceed to introduce everyone, and I said, and these people who are screaming, and I said something about screaming in what was clearly meant to be a I wish we would all stop sort of way, which naturally meant that every single person introduced themselves with a little scream. Except
Well,
for
most of us were screaming. Queen was doing anything but screaming.
No, she was doing a little scream too.
She had a scream. It's a treat.
I assure you.
I assure you, I watched the VOD. I watched the VOD this evening, but okay.
What? No, I swear she screamed. I wrote that down.
I can't remember.
What do you think? I watched this twice. Okay, well, I guess I believe you.
All right, 7 years late, but
Thank you, Queen.
there I screamed.
Either
Little
way,
screams.
everybody did little screams.
Guys in the stream, don't watch it in a crowded room.
Don't watch it in a crowded room. Anyway, everyone does little screams except for Split, which clearly this is foreshadowing that Split Guardian did not scream when everyone else screamed. Wow, he's such a rebel. So I'm clearly in a state of utter chaos. I think that episode 1 is probably me at the most like, oh god, what am I doing? Fun fact, I'm pretty sure I didn't even have a real microphone at this point. I'm pretty sure I was just using my onboard laptop mic. Cause like, so I have a desktop PC, and then at the time I also had a laptop, and for the sake of having a second monitor, and also because I didn't have another microphone, I just used my laptop. So my laptop would have all the Discord stuff, and that's also part of why my mic kept cutting out, because my laptop was just not as good at connecting with Discord. And then when I had a new microphone, I kept attaching that to my laptop, and that was a similar problem. So yeah, that's a whole experience. I'm clearly panicking. Go ahead.
At what point did you end up getting your actual first microphone?
I have no idea. Like, okay, so I know that it was still my laptop mic when Split, Cammy, and I recorded What's Up Tiger Lily, because that was in February 2018. I'm not sure when I got the actual mic. I know I had an actual mic by the time we got to, like, at the very least record, like, the prep for the second half of season 2, because I remember, like, using my CAD in my closet. I think I would have had it at least around, like, Easter, because I remember using it to record me yelling about, like, Phil and his extremely revealing bunny costume. It was in there somewhere. Truly boggling to think of. Also, I was panicking so hard, so Alex had to constantly prompt me to explain how Werewolf and Mafia worked, and also had to keep reminding me to tell people roles, and this did not get any better as the first few streams went on, and really, arguably, it never got better. In my defense, running DMP takes a lot of mental faculties. Like, there is a reason why, really, there is a reason why, you know, Alex just kind of was the person who put the X's on all the people's names, even once I started doing OBS. And that's because that's because, honestly, this is a job that always needed, like, a background crew, basically.
A narrator and 37 backup narrators.
And he
Those are the
still
real roles
exists
of
as your
DMP.
extra pair of hands to this day.
Yep, and Alex is still the extra pair of hands to this day, yes.
It's me, Rakakuni.
It's him, Rakakuni. But yeah, I also, like, I didn't give people last words for the first, like, 2 episodes or so. God. Woohoo! PS says it was during season 2, if I recall, because Vin has the biggest oh thank goodness moment for the mics, or for the... Oh well, I'll know whenever that gets back to me. Nowadays it's not Alex being the extra set of hands, he's just crimes his hands, this is true. Yeah, for the mic, okay, so I did have an actual mic in the second half of season 1, but it was a significantly worse mic. It was like a USB CAD audio that I bought for like $40. So yeah, my mic proceeded to get better, because after that I got a really nice mic for Christmas. And then I had to really struggle to fix it up, and then Split had to be the one that set it up for me, because I'm a dumbass. But hey, we got there eventually. In the meantime, though, we have to deal with listening to me like that. Like, in those episodes, that's what I sound like. And that's just what we have to live with. Okay, so, So let's see here. I just keep forgetting to remember people's roles. When everyone starts like listing their names, like what they are in this game, Split, like after we've introduced everyone, Split says, "This is just a thought, but maybe we should change our nicknames in Discord to know who's who." And Gail's like, "Ooh, that's so smart." So we didn't even do that.
We didn't even do that. We were definitely on top of things.
We were professionals.
We were figuring out how to play this game via Discord as opposed to like via keep in mind I'd only ever run this in person prior to that point. Okay, so I'm gonna go through who was who in this scenario, and it's gonna be fun for all of us. Okay, so
Family.
This is Where Corgis in Villagington. We all remember the basics for this one, wherein everyone is from a quaint little village where there are 10 townsfolk, 10 folks in this little village, and they're all allergic to dogs, which is why they have this quaint little spot in the English countryside. I never determined like when this was, but everyone decided this was more medieval times, so that's what we went with. I mean, our bad guys were were-corgis, y'all know, because some people went to some illegal dog shows, pet some good boys, and got bit, and now they want to cuddle. You got the seer, who, was in fact just a psychic that escaped from a lab, I guess. We barely got anything about that bit because, you know, the seer died first in this one. The witch was just somebody who liked drugs and had some good drugs, and the gardener was very lonely because their polycule had just passed away and they were trying to form new connections. They were like, both your wife and husband died in a tragic cobblestone accident is what I said.
Incredible, honestly.
But yes, so of the people involved here, we've got Gail played Pip, an adorable little British child. Actually, I guess I'll go with this. Okay. No, to introduce everyone as their player names as opposed to their improv characters. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, Doc was actually introduced first. He made allergy medicine. That's what he was known about. He also went off about communism within the first round, so I guess that shit came out early. I don't know why.
So Dr. McGillicuddy, we're gonna skip ahead a little bit in the itinerary.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just gonna go ahead and drag this guy up here real quick. So initially,
Initially?
So initially, I was thinking I was going to be a wacky doctor character inspired by a character I saw on a YouTube channel called Geek and Sundry. This was their ye olden days of YouTube. Felicia Day hosted a channel, and there were a bunch of side series on it. That's where Critical Role actually got its start.
Okay.
And one of the side series was Will Wheaton playing board games with a bunch of celebrity friends. And on one of them, he played Forbidden Desert with, I forget who else was in there, but I remember for the sake of the story, Alan Tudyk was in there, and he played a character named Dr. McLickertitty. Yeah. So Dr. McLickertitty was this drunken super scientist man who was belittling his assistant, who was like a half camel hybrid who could store water in her hump because of the mechanics of Forbidden Desert, and someone being very, very weirdly into that. And I was like, yeah, that'll be my character, Dr. McLickertitty. But luckily, my memory was terrible, so instead it became Dr. McGillicuddy, and I couldn't even remember what Dr. McLickertitty was even on about. But I did remember a video where, it was a parody video from a movie of some kind, where the President of the United States used a kitten to represent communism, and they did a spinning headbutt to, obliterate the kitten in a bloody mess to show how you need to stomp out communism. And I was like, that's what he was mad about, surely. And that's how Dr. McGillicuddy became born, because of my terrible memory and some YouTube videos of some weird shit happening.
Wow.
That is so fucking funny. Holy shit. So,
Wow.
we were dangerously close to a timeline where one of your main characters was named Dr. McLickertitty.
Incredibly dangerously close to a timeline where the man who kickstarted the plot of Discord and Murder Party and went through a bunch of existential nightmarish horror was named Dr. McLickertitty.
You know, I
How do you
always,
feel about that?
you know, as we started this show, I remember thinking to myself, I can't believe that our first main characters here are named the Murder God and Dr. McGillicuddy, respectively, not realizing that it could have been so much worse.
So much worse.
Oh my god.
Oh, goodness.
Incredible. Well, Doc, so anyway, in this case, in this particular little quaint village, Doc made allergy medication. He was also a were-corgi. Gale was the other were-corgi as Pip, the runaway stable boy who takes care of animals. Doc and Pip were a very dangerous combination. Because Alex is really good at werewolf, and Gale really pulled off the adorable child thing, so really dangerous combination there. Of our other characters, we had Atwis, because Atwis was in this first episode, which is fucking wild.
Yeah,
Like,
the lore implications are staggering.
the lore implications are genuinely kind of staggering, but of the various people that are in this where it does not make sense that they're here, Atwis being there actually makes the most sense, because Alethius absolutely would just sort of show up and play a game or two of werewolf just because, like, especially
Okay, bye.
especially their the second character they play. We'll get there. It was because it was the dog scenario. Alethius joined hoping they'd get to be a were-corgi, and then they weren't, and they were very disappointed. Okay, so in this case, Atwis played Newton, who moved here after escaping the Spanish Inquisition. Absolutely not a witch. They were a townsfolk. Kikyo was in this one as John, who the very first John, a miner, which Atwis, does that mean you can't drink in the coal mine? Gardner. Queen, you were Quintessa, the baker's wife. You offer a charming discount to handsome neighbors. You're married to Keon. You are definitely, like, having many affairs. You were the witch.
I actually have a story for why she was called Quintessa. This is the very first iteration of Quintessa.
Well, would you two like to explain Quintessa and Keon?
So basically, for those not in the know, I would later go on to play Quintessa in Alex's D&D game, but way back then, this is when you guys had Patreon incentives to where if you paid a certain amount of money, because I wasn't in IR at the time, I was donating to their Patreon, but if you donated a certain amount, you could suggest a character to be in one of the D&D games.
Huh?
And I suggested Quintessa, and I think there was just like a load of people had suggested characters at that point, so when you came to me with this, I was just like, oh, let's just put this character back.
I assume nothing is different
It's
between this and the
crazy.
character from Fallen Empires. I'm sure nothing is different.
D&D Quintessa is less of a whore, as Scott would put it.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you're like, because remember we get into an argument and like, I know about your affairs, you little whore.
He did. You do
That's
say
right,
that, yes.
Oh my goodness. It's hard to believe just how many cameos we inevitably had between D&D, just any of the games we had, and Discord Murder Party. But that we're getting ahead of ourselves with that.
Mhm. You gonna explain? Do you remember anything about Keon, who is married to Quintessa and is definitely being cheated on, and is also a townsfolk?
Honestly, that's about as much as I remember. I remember that he was a townsfolk. I remember that there was a lover's quarrel going on between the two, and that he was betrayed by Quintessa, who was having internal affairs. And that is the extent of my recollection. And it was purely improvised, that whole fight that they had, the two of them, and it was great.
Delightful.
Mm-mm.
So Jean-Claude, Juno played Jean-Claude, who had a trebuchet. He was the first one voted off for being French and was a townsfolk. Very specifically, I don't remember who it was that said this, but someone said there's only one thing worse than being a murderer, and that's French. Which is so fucking funny. God. Izzy was there, aka Shiner, as Daisy, who was a Republican American. She was the gunslinger, which I guess it makes sense why she was Republican American. And I forgot to mention that she was a gunslinger when she died, but she guessed that Doc was a werecorgi, so I let her kill him as a ghost. Which, honestly, powerful. Split played Samuel. He owned the tavern, which is a very Split Guardian character choice to make, but he was our very first Dead Seer, so first guy killed, first Dead Seer. And
I'm sure this won't become a constantly ongoing trend.
yeah, no, you know, I mean, that's just bad luck, but they can't all go this way.
No.
And
No.
Uprising was Tulsi. She was French. She was very sick. She had the consumption / tuberculosis. She was a townsfolk. Let's see here. I wanted to show off the first post in the dead chat because I thought they were pretty funny. Oh, this is from when Juno died, but actually this is the first one, which is Split saying that he died. Let me show this on screen real quick. Whoop. Please behold. They deserve it. Kristen talking about me getting murdered. I called that shit so hard. I'm dying. Oh yeah, Cello is also in this game. Cello Cheetah was in this, but she was... Yeah, that's not till the second scenario. So it's like, the second I heard that, I was like, fuck, that's me. You're already dead. Spooky ghost. Chat's accusing me of faking my death and actually being the murderer. It's hilarious.
Big brain play right there.
Big brain play right there. And then...
Welcome to Limbo,
And then Jean-Claude gets voted out.
Oh my god.
Which, incredible. So yeah, we're off to a good start here. I already mentioned the werecorgis. I mentioned the werecorgis really powered through this one. Like, the werecorgis won. The thing that really got you all was the fact that, first Gale was playing Adorable Child, and then Alex pitched that the Adorable Child should be nominated for Sheriff.
Yeah.
And it worked. Like, everyone fully went for it, and I narrated how everyone was really excited. They voted Pip Sheriff. They gave him a little laurel crown, and we had a little parade for him. It was a pretty small parade, because there's only, like, 8 of you in the village, but it's fine. And you all have a nice time, you have lunch, and now it's time to get back to business, which is voting to lynch someone.
You gotta do business.
Exactly, you gotta do business.
Yes.
It was actually a very funny bit. I'm quite, so I had to listen to this episode twice, and the first time I listened to it, I was cringing and dying, and the second time I heard this, I was like, no, I wasn't completely awful, actually, which is nice. Good to know. It's almost like I was actually okay at this or something. What a shock. Imagine. Let's see here as I pull up my other notes to make sure I'm not forgetting anything else. Okay, so next is Reality Island. Ahem. So, as I think we all remember, Reality Island, which was being hosted by me, I was just the host, and it's noted that in this game, my character was part of the scenario as the reality show host, and I think that's really what started changing things. The fact that the narrator was a character in this one. So that's kind of fun and interesting. Characters that were in this. Dr. McGillicuddy, again. Let's see here.
Yeah, people were like really busy changing their nicknames in a hurry to set up for scenario 2, because some people were playing again, and then some people were hopping in and hopping out.
Mm-hmm.
And as I think my thought process was, wouldn't it be really funny
if I was just
Dr. McGillicuddy again?
Right? And I was just like, I was also, yeah, that's pretty funny. Also, this was the time when, like, we did not decide names beforehand. Like, I handed out stuff for the game, we played the game, and then we went on break, because I had to pass out new roles, and people had to come up with new names. Which, Jesus Christ, that's a horrible idea.
It was awful. It was truly awful. I don't remember if I was putting them on screen at that point.
You weren't putting them on screen for the first game. You started putting them on screen for the second game.
Oh, yeah. And by the second game, it was truly awful.
Yes. But, okay, so Reality Island Season 1. Doc was there as Dr. McGillicuddy. He was, in fact, a townsfolk. Let's see here. Gale was playing Elliot, who was Ann Child. Surfer was siblings with, I think, Queen. Yeah, Elliot was siblings with Queen's Nicola Gardens, who was sister.
Yep. Definitely not related to Grace at all.
Yes. Which then Nicola Garden was killed via the witch. But this death made it look like Elliot made people like consider whether or not Elliot was a werebro using her death as cover. Like it was a whole thing. Like people almost were like, no. It basically kind of felt like people were like, well, no, Gale already got us once. Let's see here. Scott was playing Steve the intern, who was not supposed to be in front of the camera, but he fucking was, and this started a whole thing. Like, this was
Really, the first character arc.
Oh, the intern!
Yeah, the first character arc was really the interns before Dr. McGillicuddy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because the intern and the host have a relationship. Juno was playing Tronald Dump, which means, of course, Juno died first, because, you know, Tronald Dump. So really, in this case, Juno played you all, because Juno was the seer, and why wouldn't Tronald Dump be voted off first?
Beautiful.
Uprising was Mia from Nebraska. She was bringing the hills of Nebraska. Wink. Atlas was there. They were a chef specializing in food of the herbal persuasion. Was the witch. Hence the look, a weed bit, you know, like Aletheus.
Dude, weed, Lamal.
Izzy was there as Jenny Chrysler. She was there because she thought there was a cash prize. There was not a cash prize. Kikyo played Jessica Sass. Again, we got another we had a lot of Valley girls going on for this one. Nissa was playing Mr. Man. Let's see here. Cello, this is the only episode that Cello Cheetah was ever in. She played Tiffany, who is the fan fave. She was a werebro. This was hilarious because the chat was very excited about her being there, and she was like, well, I'm about to break all their hearts. And then there was Split, who was Tyler Bannerman. He was a surfer. He liked weed. He was a bro wolf, and we were all kind of surprised at the end that he didn't get caught because he was the most bro-ish, but he kind of just ended up, like, basically befriending the other the bros who were not werebros, so it kind of worked out for him. So yeah, this one, I'm trying to remember the bad guys. Like, we had the werebros. The seer was the only person who has Wi-Fi on the island. The witch is a person who, like, they've been sober for, they're finally clean, but you know, they have a really good drink and a really bad drink just in case. A lot of my witch roles tended to just be that drugs and or alcohol is funny, which, to be fair, people made it funny, so whatever.
Indeed, Lamal.
Indeed, Lamal. Let's see here, and I think the gardener was just a lonely person trying to befriend people, so they would always be giving someone a gift related to whatever the reality show activity was. Let's see here. So anyway, I think I mentioned that having the host be a character is what really kicked us off. Like, the very first time folks were allowed to vote, Gale was saying, I think the host is trying to murder us, and everyone keeps trying to, like... For a while, everyone kept trying to vote for the host, and I'm like, you can't kill the narrator. This isn't Into the Woods.
Watch me!
You're really trying, but you're not gonna succeed. But since we just kind of kept going with it, eventually I started just rolling with the fact that I was some kind of Dark Lord / God, and I demanded blood. Scott's intern, the host and the intern had some rapport. She was clearly very angry about the intern. But also the intern very early on started making a whole bit about how he's just really into Yu-Gi-Oh! Just kept going on about Yu-Gi-Oh!, which was great because that meant when it was time to reveal that he was the gunsman, he just says, you've activated my trap card, and we all lost our fucking shit. Just absolutely destroyed. God. Let's see here. So this was a whole thing.
Do we still have a picture of the
shirt? Yeah, I'm getting there.
chance?
We still have the shirt.
Okay.
Hang on.
Okay.
It's on here. I guess I'll just get to it.
Tie-dye.
Okay.
So when you get to it.
So, I'm trying to think through others. I think, yeah, we'll get to the shirt now. Fuck it. Okay, so
for context,
for context,
this was back when I was in high school. Not this, but when the time that I had made this, I was in high school. We were doing a tie-dye event for some sort of a rally. I don't remember the context. And we were told we could use different techniques to make these. I thought that I was using the spiral technique. For those who don't know, that's essentially where you like pinch the fabric and twist it clockwise, and you get that. I did not realize at the time that I was using a completely different technique. I was using something called the crumple technique. Essentially, what it is you're just taking your t-shirt, crumpling it into a ball, and just putting a fuck ton of rubber bands on it in order to secure it. And what that ended up with was this absolute beautiful nightmare of a shirt that I can only describe as just a big pile of what the fuck.
It looks,
and I think that's what ended up being given out at one point.
Yeah,
because I'm taking a picture of this.
You described it as a shirt where the parts that were meant to be dyed were white, and the parts that were meant to be white were dyed.
Yes,
and
exactly.
And then you were like, okay, I'm gonna show you guys the shirt, and Alex says, if I put this up on stream, am I allowed to talk even though I'm dead? And I go, yeah, sure. And in doing this, thus Dr. McGillicuddy was able to talk even though he was dead, thus cementing that Dr. McGillicuddy is able to break the rules and ignore what the narrator tells him to do.
The shirt gives him his power.
Yeah, the tie-dye shirt gave him this power this whole time. There was also a bit where Steve the intern was given a dress, so Gail just drew this. He looks beautiful. Because we were like, did he say yes to the dress? And then Steve the intern was, I think I was just gonna keep it in my closet, but do you wear it? Yeah, I guess. And Gail's like, oh my god, I'm gonna draw it!
I guess I do.
Exactly, yes. So, incredible. But yeah, so this was all a whole thing. Atwis was playing the leader in this one, and Atwis took their role very seriously. They had a whole thing where, like, basically they would make sure to always be the tiebreaker, so no matter what was going on, they wouldn't give their vote until the very end. It was very dramatic and honestly a cool way to do things. So, like I said, the little by little the host started having a character, and, like, because with all of these games, no matter what we were doing, and this is the case for like all of the original episodes of DMP and really every episode since, things would start out very funny, silly, and by the time we'd get to like the last round or the second, once you have about 5 people, things would start getting like really intense. Like people would start getting really dramatic. People would be, bringing up some stage crying. There's betrayals happening. Like it got so fucking intense. And this combined with the fact that the host was quickly becoming a character, I just sort of accepted that I was a dark god. When Steve dies, I actually had the host say with a minor amount of like almost mournfulness, like I guess in a way he was the last of my humanity and he's dead now, so. Yeah. Which, in a way, also foreshadowing.
We made the plot the whole time in episode 1. There we go.
That's right. But at the very end, like, so we're voting between Split and someone else. I can't remember who it was, but Split Tyler Vanderman tries to say he doesn't want to abstain from the final vote because we know who's getting voted off, but Split tries to abstain from the final, saying it doesn't really matter, and the game show host says, I still have to complete it. And Atwis says, you signed the contract, man, you have to. Which, man, what a quote. Incredible.
Mm-hmm. What a quote.
Fucking insane. So yeah,
we made the whole ass series in episode 1 right there.
Basically, right there, that kind of set it up. So, yeah, they killed the final townsfolk, so the Werebros won this one. Atwis was betrayed by their fellow bro, and their final line was, the good kush is under my mattress. Fucking absolutely wild. And then I dramatically declare there never was a broadcast and there never will be, and the thing just ends. So it got really intense, and like I didn't even let it rest for a second. I immediately just went, guys, I'm so sorry for being so mean to you. I feel so bad.
Immediately the crimes cries.
I mean, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I was so mean. And then for the first few episodes, because we weren't really doing real episodes, we just kind of, after every game, we'd all go, whoa, and we'd all kind of like green room talk about how great the game was before we started into the next one, which is so weird. God, as a final note, at the very end we were marveling about how many bits we got, and Alex was like, wow, thanks for letting us know you guys really liked that. Alex says sincerely, unaware this is about to change all of our lives. God. So here's the art that Juno drew of me, because this was back before Murder God really existed, before anything really existed. So there you go. This is me. That's the narrator of the games. So
Oh my god.
Yeah.
there's Goggles back when the bad guy was just
beaker voice.
Goggles with a knife. See, this is why Goggles doesn't talk. It's because if she does, she turns into a monster, I guess.
Yeah, we thought it would be Flux from our very deep internet remix lore that we were definitely going to make an animated series of.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to spoil it, so it's obviously just
Yeah.
Goggles. And there's not an evil version of Goggles, it's just Goggles.
Yeah, like at this point, Flux already existed, so, you know, our cast already knew that I was eventually going to be some kind of Eldritch Horror, but we were like, well, we don't want to spoil it. So, yeah.
I want to believe that there's just an alternate timeline somewhere where all of Discord Murder Party was just some weird fucked up fan fiction written by Goggles and told to the entirety of Internet Remix. I don't know how.
I mean,
I don't know
it's
when.
in character. It doesn't feel incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so, after we're not gonna go fully into IR lore, because otherwise we'll be here forever. There's IR lore streams for that already on Internet Remix, so I'm not gonna get into it. But, Flux was, the eldritch creature that Goggles was supposed to turn into that, puts all the characters through, like, their worst fucking nightmares. Because we're talking about, like, expressing pain through fan fiction or writing or something. And that ended up going into Discord Murder Party, so... you know... But right, so we played this game, it went really well. I think we had like 100 people watching the stream. Like, it was truly insane how many people were watching this first episode of DMP. It was very many numbers, and it might have been 70? It was somewhere between 100 and 70. I just remember it was like the most we'd ever had.
I think it was like some odd.
And I don't know why. Like, why it was so big, but it just started out like that. So that's pretty fucking wild, and it went well. We had a good time, and it might have been during the post show, I know at the very least it gets mentioned in the IR Patreon server. But Alex said, you know, sometimes Kristen is just possessed by a murder god. It's by some kind of murder god. It's fine. So Alex says that, thus damning me for that to be my name for all of time.
Yep. We made the whole ass stream and plot in episode 1.
Yep. So once this ended, like, so the show ends, we have our post show, we close, and as I'm going to make myself tea and stuff and kind of walking around my apartment, cleaning up dishes and stuff, I start thinking, okay, so McGillicuddy was there for, like, you know, both things. So what if everybody in this thing is like, they're all people trapped in this thing and their faces are constantly changing, except for Dr. McGillicuddy, which means that actually they're all the same person underneath. And there's some kind of like host, and maybe the host like has to be running these games because she's some kind of horrifying monstrosity that's like feeding off the energy or something. Or maybe it's like a game. Is it like, because I'd also just recently played Doki Doki Literature Club, so I was like, how meta can I make this? So yeah, it was very, so basically the first little hints of the soup stock here are in here, and it's about to start like little by little getting flavor. Interesting. So episode 2. Episode 2, I introduced myself as the mouthpiece of some kind of murder god. Scenario 1 was the PTA meeting that has gone terribly wrong. Wherein there was supposed to be basically no death in this scenario, but it got more violent as things go on, like you do. our characters were Bob Bennett, the woodshop teacher who insisted that elementary school students should be learning woodshop. Amazingly, he was the phone psychic, and aka he was the seer, and he survived the entire game. Not only did he survive, he told people who was the seer in the first round and because he happened to find a werewolf, and he still survived until the end of the game. Like, the werewolves didn't try to kill him until the very end, and...
I don't know why.
Yeah, and the witch saved you, so you just didn't die. Like, you were like the first seer to not die for like the first 5 games.
Just impressive.
Oh my god. What the fuck was that? I think
Scott was just cutting out.
Oh no, there was like a game noise in the Discord.
Oh, weird.
Weird. Anyway.
Oh.
Okay, well, I don't know what happened there. Anyway, so we got Bob Bennett, played by Alex, Carolyn, played by Bro. Mostly, she just had a lot of anxiety and was very close to losing her mind. Very close to Cammy's character's Susan. Carolyn was the cool mom with drugs. Because that was the witch. The witch was just not just a mom, a cool mom with drugs. Let's see, the werewolves in this one were mommy bloggers who were also cyber bullies. So basically their whole thing was just bullying the other parents or teachers for not being good enough. Yeah, the framing for this one was pretty fun because every single like day phase was like, there's only one meeting for the PTA a month. So we'd show up and be like, okay guys, time to talk about the trunk or treat. And also, by the way, someone's been bullied out of the school. So that was a good time. Like I said, Seer's a phone psychic, which is a cool mom with drugs, and the gardener was the best baker, and their cooking blog is superior to the mommy bloggers' blogs. It's very important.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Scott, you're playing Charlotte Schweb, who has a very deep voice. It's a condition. It's hereditary. Don't make fun of her. But also Bob Bennett figured out very early on that she was a werewolf, and then was like, no, that's not a hereditary condition. You're a werewolf.
Was that because of the issues I was having with Discord at the time, or was that just a thing I was doing?
I don't know. You didn't say, so.
Because I specifically remember there were audio technical difficulties that I was having with Discord at the time, and I don't.
I mean,
remember
maybe you
where or
decided
where
to
they
just
happened.
embrace it. I couldn't tell you.
I may have just rolled with it.
Yeah. Okay,
There's a
so.
funny thing about Charlotte, but we'll
go
we'll
ahead,
cross that
go
bridge
ahead.
when we get to it. No.
Okay.
It's season 2 relevance.
I mean, it's worth mentioning. I don't know. I guess I'm like,
Alright,
how spoilery are we gonna get with this? We'll delay it to the spoiler section down at the end, I think.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sorry, Alex, you were gonna say something.
Well, I was going to say if there's a spoiler section, then that invalidates what I was just going to say, so...
Well, there we go. It goes to the spoiler section. Okay.
To the spoiler section!
We'll get there later, because there was someone on Twitter saying that they were gonna watch the show for the first time, so I was like, okay, we'll try to stay in the yeah, I'm like, granted, I don't know how much we can avoid spoiling. We'll see. We're gonna try to hold things for the spoiler section. Can we, though? So much of this feels like it's foreshadowing already.
Foreshadowing isn't necessarily
Oopsie poopsie.
Oh well, fuck it. You know what? I don't care. Whatever. I'm sorry. If you're watching this and you haven't seen the show, this is gonna be a really weird way for you to find stuff out. You should probably watch the show.
This is your recap.
Yeah, I would watch the show.
Yeah, watch the show. Don't watch this first. Anyway,
Is a Discord murder party.
Anyway, so during Percy's gradual awakening, Scott started bringing back characters from the first few episodes, which is cool, except I was also trying to keep people from watching those first few episodes because the quality is, dubious.
Oh my gosh. I've got a story about that.
Go ahead.
So I remember when we had the very early days of the fan server, I can't remember, we must have been like early season 2. And somebody was saying like, oh, I want to get into the series. And I jump in and say, there's like, I'm not sure if I should start from the beginning. I'm like, oh no, do stop, because there are hints to this, this, and this. Pretty much 5 minutes later, I get a message from Kristen saying, never say that again.
Was I that mean about it? Jesus!
No, you were. You were just You were just saying, no, I caution people against it because it's not the quality we're looking for. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I understand.
Okay,
It's really funny.
it is funny.
That's a pilot episode, you know? Nothing is perfect.
You know, on a re-listen to these episodes, I actually don't think they're that bad. As long as you warn people that the quality is,
yeah.
like, mic quality aside, they're actually pretty fun. I mean, maybe I'm biased because that's our stuff, but I think they're pretty fun. And clearly other people did because they kept showing up to the streams even when they weren't very good quality at the time. So, you know, maybe we were doing something right after all. But yeah, so there was George, who was played by Phil, who was definitely not just here for the cookies, definitely had a kid for realsies at the school. He swears he was the first person bullied out of here, which is a shame because he was also the gardener, so no one got to have any of his good baked goods after that first round. There was Frederick, who was played by Juno, who is the father of Cecil, a kid in marching band, which is foreshadowing for Johann/Haley. And
that was also a Fire Emblem reference, because Frederick in Fire Emblem is a character from one of the games who is most known for just being like very nice, very well put together, except when he gets a critical hit, in which he yells, "Pick a god and pray!"
Pick a god and pray.
Okay, that explains the pick a god and pray thing. When that happened in the stream, I was like, what? Is this a Fire Emblem? No, and no one explained it to me. So,
It was in fact a Fire Emblem.
That's how you know. 7 to 8 years later.
I mean, I figured it out. I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is a Fire Emblem reference. And I didn't feel like asking because I didn't want anyone to think I was stupid. So I just didn't ask. But yeah, and then Queen played Karen Blossom. You were a good Christian, constantly yelling at your son, Donovan, because he's going through a phase with knives. She's very stressed out and was also bullied by me at the start because I was talking about how Karen's lemon squares are dry. And then everyone was like, we literally have a Karen. And it's like, well, we can have more than one Karen. And then I'm like, but I am talking about you, Karen. There was Mary, who was played by Uprising. She was the foods teacher. And Reggie, played by Nissa. Reggie's son has been held back 12 times, but we're hoping he's gonna get a good education so he can join the football team. Incredible. Anyway, the framing for this one is pretty interesting because of the month things going on. At first, it's just people getting bullied, but little by little, of course, things seem to get more and more violent. In the very last round, and this, in terms of timing, is Christmas, is like the December PTA meeting in Universe. And the witch killed somebody. And so we're like, oh yeah, hi. Everyone's talking about the holiday concert. Well, I'm like, oh, by the way, so-and-so's dead. And everyone, you know, gets really upset and they're absolutely crushed. And then I just start singing Happy Christmas, War is Over, but singing to the tune of, so this is Christmas. Somebody's dead. Which, honestly, iconic, I think. But yeah, so Bro was the witch, which means Bro's the only person who did a murder this round, and this game. And this is, and Bro and Cammy had been, like, just attached to the hip, basically. So that means that Cammy's Susan gets really intense, and Bro's character says dramatically, there's nothing I can do to atone for my crimes, which is a hell of a sentence for Junior the Grace Killer to say. It's wild!
Incredible, honestly.
Yes, so fucking incredible. This was the first townsfolk win, which is neat. Do I have any other notes from this one? I think I mentioned describing myself as the mouthpiece / spokesperson for some kind of murder god. Let's see here. There was an extended bit where we all quoted "Don't Stop Believing" because I mentioned the school is the only school in a small town. Like, this lasted for like a solid minute.
Wow.
It's incredible. Also, of course, Cammy, this was the first game Cammy did. She, of course, went very hard, like usual. She was also the murderer. So that made her betrayal over Carolyn's murder very funny. A fan made a GIF about this, so I'm gonna show you guys the GIF now. I think that'll be fun for all of us. Oh my
fucking gosh, you fucking big.
Yes.
Oh. I have fond memories of this one because I remember Juno planned like a mini comic series after this. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, because Juno Juno illustrated the death of Frederick. It's very tragic, as you all can see. And then from there, it looks like Juno had I think Juno and Maddie had the idea of Juno and Cammy had the idea that Cammy's the werewolf mom, her daughter Madeline, would proceed to protect Cecil from the werewolves, which is a very cute idea. So Juno drew this, and then I guess in the future they maybe get married or something.
Yay!
It's very cute.
Yeah,
So
get married.
Yeah, gay married. We're getting some lesbians out there early.
Partial foreshadowing?
Kind of foreshadowing, yeah.
Are lesbians really a foreshadowing
Not
device?
really, no.
Can we really point to lesbians and say the existence of lesbians is foreshadowing?
The existence of lesbians is...
I don't know.
No, the existence of lesbians is foreshadowing. We're the only show that's ever had lesbians.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Euphoria, fuck that. We got Discord Murder
We've got
Party.
Discord
lesbians.
Murder Party, exactly. Okay, so scenario 2, Action Con. So this was basically Comic-Con mixed with, yes, this is a convention for real superpowered people. Let's see here. So in this one, as I scroll down the names here, as I go back to our list. So for Action Con, first of all, Gale and Scott were playing Oriah Blue and Onyx Blue. They were siblings. Very cute. One of them died, and then the witch, who was being played by Nissa, killed the other one because he was like, well, I can't save one of them, and it would be too sad for one to be left without the other, so I guess I'll just kill both of them.
Oh.
Which is so fucked up.
You know what? Although at the same time, looking back, and realizing the intentions behind that, I can understand.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Fucked
just a
up,
game.
But yeah.
Didn't want to show favoritism, so you're both dead.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Alex played Groot and Rocket, which I'm not sure what this means for the canon. Does this mean that Steven Cutter is somehow both Groot and Rocket?
So rather than answer that, God, I remember thinking, wouldn't it be really funny in a Comic-Con scenario if I was playing a character who could only say a limited amount of things in a game where communication is key? And it was really funny, but I was like, I'll have an emergency, because, Groot only says I am Groot, but Rocket's there with him in case, emergencies or someone accuses me. Immediately!
Yes.
Fucking Karen Blossom accuses me of murder, will not back down, because Karen Blossom was the Mafia. I'm like, okay, Rocket Raccoon, what's your defense? I have a gun, and I will shoot you if you vote me out.
Yes.
You were
Okay, let's
Raccoon
vote him out.
Yes.
Rooney was a thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, I was scrolling through our stuff, and notably when you said I said, okay, so you're the gunsman, and you were like, sweet, I'm Groot and Rocket, this is perfect!
Yeah. Well, of course I would be the gunslinger. I'm fucking Rocket Raccoon.
Exactly.
Who
Yeah.
always has a gun at any time.
Yes, and you say you have a gun, and everyone's like, well, we should get him out of here because he brought a gun to a convention. So basically everyone just got really sucked into the roleplay that we should get him out of here because he has a gun, even though obviously in terms of the meta, you shouldn't vote out the gunsman.
You shouldn't vote out the gunslinger. And that's how I got out one of the Mafia.
Yes, and then you shot Karen Blossom, who did a million puns and frankly deservedly died when she did because my god.
That was my annoying orange
You
parody.
were being annoying on purpose, and boy did it work.
No, I'll tell you what it was. It was, we were switching out, characters or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I think somebody wanted to play, or but didn't, I think had to go and didn't switch out with me. So I can't remember who it was, but they messaged me saying, just be the most annoying you possibly can. Be just an evil supervillain who makes puns. And that's just where it kind of went.
Incredible.
Yeah. And then as for the question, was Steven Cutter both Groot and Rocket? Yes, at the same time.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously.
Steven Cutter can do that. He's always been two people.
Yeah.
Always was.
He's a really good actor.
Yeah. Uprising played Earth-chan. She really committed to being very anime. Nissa was playing Blonde, James Blonde. I believe she died pretty early on, so we didn't hear a lot from that. Bro was playing Chanel Sweet, who was the most suave murderer of all time. Like, succeeded in being the leader on sheer weight of charisma alone. And then when Chanel was finally caught, everyone was like, "You're so hot, I feel so betrayed." like Cammy's catty super, who was of course a cat girl, was like, "Oh my god, I love you, Chanel." And you know, so of course Chanel flips back, and then of course Chanel immediately kills Catty. And so once Chanel was revealed, Cammy was like, "You betrayed me, I loved you." Roland was in this as the silver speaker. This is the only one of the first 5 episodes that Roland, aka Upgraded Moon, was in. And Kikyo's not in this one, so technically this is canon compliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Phil was there as the neckbeard with the cape. He was the gardener, and the gardener in this one was just actually the guy with somehow the most pull at this convention, which means he, you know, gets to lay with someone every night, and for every person, it's like the best they've ever had.
Oh my god. Because I remember at one point he did it with Earth Chan, and she's like, "Oh, my mountain." Yes, it's so fucking funny. The reveal, when we finally revealed this, it was so funny that we all cracked up and I got booted from call. And Alex was like, "Well, DMP is over, everyone. We can't top that. Good night." We
Can't top that.
We'll never do anything as good as this.
Oh, words to live by.
God. So let's see here. There was some joke about me being dead, and I said, "I didn't die. I can't die." Anyway, someone has to die. Let's see. And I think that's everybody that was in that one. Yes. So, in this case, it looks like I think the townsfolk did also win this one because they caught Chanel. So, amazingly, you all didn't die. And we already showed all the episode 2 stuff, so it's time to move on to episode 3. Woo! Ta-da! Okay, so episode 3. Scenario 1 was magazine, which we're in. Even though the print industry is dying, in this case, once again, the god was in fact a character in the scenario as like the person who is running the magazine. Also, horrifyingly, as I'm checking my other notes, we were live while I was still busy setting up the game. Like, the game, I had not even finished sending out the roles, and I was like, "Guys, please stall. I can't, and I was like, "Well, we're live," and I'm just like, "Why would you do this to me?" So...
Yeah, I think that my philosophy was, well, it's 7 on the dot. That is our stream start time. Not my fault if you aren't ready.
Oh my god. God. The staple of live theater, stall, yes. This was also the first game where I did the 10 minutes thing. Amazing. Darby, you were actually in this one.
Hey, sweet.
Yes. So, for magazine...
I think you were Sammy Soser Sr.
Nope, that was in, Spring Olympics, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll get to Sammy. Okay, so for magazine, first of all, the murderers they are in fact just murderers. They're doing murders and hope that this is going to help their journalism career, and maybe there's going to be a Netflix documentary about it. The seer was an undercover FBI agent who was good at research. The witch was a writer who had an English degree, and they wanted to get into creative writing, but no, they're doing journalism for the money. They have one piece of writing so good it could save a life, and one so depressing it will kill someone. The gardener was a sex columnist out to test out some tips. And I believe... No, I could have sworn I thought you were... So I'm gonna figure out who the gardener was, but I'm gonna go through the names now. So Gail played Maggie Gizzard. Alex, you were once again Dr. McGillicuddy. Oh yeah, you said you were like... Out of the 4 out of 5 doctors that agree, I'm the 5th one that doesn't agree.
I'm the 5th one that doesn't agree. Yeah, I think we're going to adjust this eventually, but like after episode 2, you were DMing me, "Hey, I've got this weird idea for like everyone's thing," and I was like, I wish you would have told me. I would have been Dr. McGillicuddy every time.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't have been really funny if.
Yeah, after episode 2, at some point between those, I was like in call with you, and I mentioned how I kind of had this idea for this story where like everyone would just sort of be like souls with changing faces and stuff in the games, and you were like, "I wish you told me that." And I'm like, haha, yeah, well, I guess we can just do that from now on. And then you just started doing it. And I was like, oh, okay, he's doing the bit. All right, I guess we'll do the plot at some point. I thought to myself at the start of episode 3, not knowing what was going to happen to me.
Like a fool.
Scott played Harold Press. What a name. Queen, you played Matilda Guile? Guile? I have no idea how to pronounce this name. It's in the DMP.
I don't even remember that.
Let's see here. Juno was playing Charmin toilet paper, which really committed to like... definitely was doing kind of a, definitely doing a, what's the name of the fucking penguin? King Dedede?
Dedede?
He definitely sounded King
Yes,
Dedede.
King Dedede.
No, actually he sounded like King Candy from Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh.
Yes, I'm like... Listen, it was a very specific voice. This is one of the things that made me go, I'm not gonna have Juno wake up for a while. I have things I need Juno to do. Let's see here. Split wasn't in this one, Uprising wasn't in this one, Nissa wasn't in this one. Darby, you were playing Yarlum yesterday, Yeselblam.
Yarlum yesterday, yes, Belnam.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a character my little brother and I came up
Yes,
with.
that's what you said. So you were, in this one, you were the weird intern who's the son of the owner. You randomly bang hammers on things just because you felt like it, and you wanted to sleep in the building, and I told you you couldn't, and you were like, but I want to sleep there. And I said, well, okay, then at least sleep in the closet because I have to do mysterious dark god things in my office. So in the next scenario, everyone's like, why were you here? Well, I was just in the closet because the boss wouldn't let me sleep in the room. And then later he's like, yeah, I slept in the same room as the dead bodies just because I'd never done it before and I wanted to know what it was like to sleep in the same room as a dead body. And everyone's like, that's fucking weird. We're voting you out.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't remember
does
this,
stuff.
but okay.
God. Doc got voted out of this one, and then he refused to die, even though I said he died, and so he's like, I refuse to die, and I'm like, no, Doctor, you died. He's like, did I? X-Files theme plays.
The truth is out there.
In a wild move, let's see here. So Izzy was a werewolf reporter and got accused in the final round. She proceeded to claim to be the witch and actually managed to do enough of a runaround to convince the gang that, like, she got accused, and then she was like, that person isn't the witch because I'm the witch. And this literally went on for long enough that it almost looked like she might manage to avoid accusation, but they managed to turn it around. And once she got caught, and she refused to reveal, like, I went, how do you want to do this? And she kept being like, well, I don't want to. And I'm like, no, you have to. I'm like, no, sorry, the jig is up, honey. That is what I said. And then Alex pipes, he's like, I cannot believe you guys almost fell for that. And I was like, no, we didn't. But, you know, this still went. I'm like, no, guys, this went on for many more minutes than I would expect when a person counterclaims very poorly for a different role. In this one, the seer did indeed die. So I try to find who the seer was in this one. Let's see here. It was... Oh, I don't think that Nissa wrote down which person was the seer for this one. Well, either way,
I think, yeah.
the seer
This
did
wasn't
die.
there, so she didn't put it in, but seer did die.
The seer is confirmed to die, and afterwards, Scott was like, for those of you playing at home, there have been 5 games. The seer has died in 4 of them, and they died first in 3 of them. So
I forgot I did a tally of those at the time.
you were keeping a tally. God. So the only one that survived was Alex, and when I mentioned that, Cammy was like, I made a mistake. I should have killed him earlier. God.
You fricked it,
You
Gabby!
fricked it. God. So scenario 2 is Cyberpunk still cool in 2018? The pitch was that we are in cyberpunk land and memes have taken over. So it's a dystopia enforced by memes and impact text is literally floating in the sky. I had this whole spiel about it being set in 20XX, and Doc McGillicuddy asked if it was a Mega Man reference, and the host said, no, it's a Proto Man reference, obviously.
Yeah. This actually breaks the Doc timeline. Mega Man came out after Doc was taken.
Literally ruined. This is an unwatchable show.
Yep.
This might have been when I first told you that I liked the Proto Man, actually.
Finally, we can be actual friends. We like the Proto Man.
Finally, we're real friends now. The bad guys in this were malware wolves. That's what I called them. I just want to point out that malware wolves is an extremely funny thing to call the bad guy in this, and nobody told me how funny it was. And you can tell me how funny it is now because I know it's very funny. Thank you for laughing. Finally, some recognition 7 years later.
It also just feels good in the mouth to say
Malware wolves. Exactly.
Malware wolves.
Malware wolves.
It's a really good pun, honestly.
Yeah, I know. The Seer is a 90s hacker again, but it's different this time because their 90ness is cooler in cyberpunk futures. I'm kind of disappointed in myself with this one. I guess I blew all my genius on the, Malware Wolves name. There was no witch because there were 9 players in this one. The gardener was just someone who's lost multiple partners due to being part of a resistance movement, and they're trying to make a connection. Jesus, I really did just blow everything on the Malware Wolves bit. It's fine. God. In this one, so Doc introduces himself, and the host is verbally annoyed when he does his thing, and she says she can't believe she's put up with this for, every one of my games. And then Doc says, technically it's only been twice this time, and then the host says, no, it's been at least 4, which I guess was signaling to Alex that this is canon, and we will now move forward.
Okay! I mean, that's the signal. That's clearly the signal. Thanks for the signal.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, Kristen. I've got this.
I've connected the dots.
I've connected the dots.
You didn't connect shit. I connected them.
So Juno as the gardener died. Actually, hang on, I should list the names. I'm sorry. It's a little chaotic. This would be easier if I could have made all the notes with my hands, but I can't, so I'm kind of having to go between a bunch of different things. Okay, cyberpunk is still cool. Jojo played a robot named Blue. Alex was still Dr. McGillicuddy. Really, in canon, Doc should have been really horrified to be in a cyberpunk scenario that has a resistance with a bunch of robots and memes, I think.
So checking out old Doc backstory documents, which I'm going to summarize when they come up in Irrelevant, because some of the stuff in those documents I am very embarrassed that I wrote that and thought that was a good idea. I believe this actually predates Saint Machina,
Yeah, it predates Saint Machina, plus admittedly in canon he wouldn't remember Saint Machina at this point anyway, so it's fine, it's canon compliant, we know what we're doing. This is all perfectly sensible canon, planned. Scott played Terios, aka just Shadow the Hedgehog. He wants to know.
There really isn't a good reason for this. It was really just because there were rumors and circulations around the time that Shadow was a robot back in the day, and they never were accurate. He's not a robot.
Thank you. I was genuinely wondering why the fuck you were playing Shadow the Hedgehog. God, you said you were looking for the people, you were like, where's Mariah? I'm looking for them. And then he kind of trailed off, and then Juno goes the Chaos Emeralds, and then Doc McGillicuddy says, no, the Order Sapphires. Queen plays Iris Lecter, who is, a human out to liberate robots, including the liberated sex robot, who's played by Nissa. Let's see here. Juno was playing a robot called Horus, a lot of people were doing some really great robot voices in this one. Nissa was D-I-C-K, the liberated sex robot. Some of you people watched this when you were like 12, 13, and we had shit like this. And I'd say I'm sorry, but I mean, honestly, when I was 12 to 13, I would have been like, I'm so adult, I can watch something that says D-I-C-K, the liberated sex robot in it, so I won't apologize. Also, the liberated sex robot did die first and was the seer, so...
So there we go!
Wow.
I feel bad.
Cammy played a robot named Emily. Then Kikyo played Troll, who... Troll, yes! And then I think that's everybody for that one.
So
No.
Troll is-
Maiden was in this one. As Belle Marie. Oh, Maiden was also in Magazine News. I was supposed to mention that. She played a model in that one, which Maiden being in this makes less sense canonically. Since she plays both Joanna.
Listen, I think we can toss canonical sense out the window because I play Cernos and I am Dr. McGillicuddy.
Like, listen, it's different if they only play cameo characters. It's fine. We don't have to fit this one into the canon. It's just funny.
That's funny. God.
But yeah.
I will say
Go ahead.
Sorry. I will say Troll is one of my favorite sleeper characters just because I love the line, I'm not really a robot, I just wanted to be cool.
Yes! Yeah, Kikyo was playing a robot called Troll. Not really a robot, just wanted to be cool. So, it's definitely not a robot because when they are, like, accused, Troll goes, no, I couldn't have done this because I ate a bad burrito and I spent a bunch of time in the bathroom, and everyone's like, but you're a robot! I'm not a robot, I just wanted to be cool. Everyone decides... Go ahead.
Do you think Troll is just an alias that John uses when he wants to be cool online or something?
I mean, yeah, that makes sense because, you know, he is in the bathroom once again. But, yeah, so everyone gets suspicious because, you know, Troll has food and hid food from everyone else, even though most people are robots and can't eat burritos. Anyway, everyone takes that as the reason to vote Troll out. Oh wait, no, let's see, the seer didn't die first. I was wrong. The seer does still die, though. Juno, the gardener, died first, but the way I introduced this, I went slowly enough that everyone thought I was gonna say seer, and everyone, like, freaked out for a solid minute. I was like, guys, no, it's the gardener. Oh. And, you know, then the seer died, like, the next round. So we hit a point where the malware-wolves had won, but since there was still a gunslinger, it was like, okay, well, if the gunslinger dies and then kills a werewolf this round, a malware-wolf this round, we could still win. The gunslinger did not get killed, so already there was a loss, but Cammy was like, no, I want to play it out. And naturally, the reason why Cammy wanted to play it out is because she was the gunslinger. So she was like, I'm initiating self-destruct. She starts counting down, and she decides to take out fucking Terios because she was like, I wanted the bad end. I wanted the drama because Cammy is, if nothing, if not a slave to drama.
Oh yeah, I was holding my breath. That was the first one.
Know it.
Yep.
That was the first one where both werewolves won.
Yeah, exactly. Both werewolves survived to the end for this one. And Juno drew the bad end with the reveal, which looks very cool.
Memes?
Memes,
So
memes,
cool.
memes. Like, on one hand, so cool. On the other hand, memes just being chanted over and over. I think there's also
Listen.
Terios here.
What is Juno if not drawing something incredibly powerful, but also memes?
It's true. Also, yeah, here's Juno's robot breaking down and saying Pingas.
It's just the machine from the Mitchells.
Yeah, Juno proceeded to, like, change the name to Pingas over and over again, like, while I was saying that, you know, they'd been memed. Alright. So yeah, there was a bad end here, and because we only had 9 people, I was like, you know what, we can do a third game. This is the only game where we actually did 3 games.
Oh my god.
So we were dangerously close to not even having that second reality island, which that would have changed everything if we had not run this.
Oh my god.
Yeah. through sheer force of, why the hell not? It would be cool if, and that's how we made the entire plot of Discord.
I will say prior to this, like, I was constantly, do you think we have time for another game? And Alex was like, no, we don't have time for another game. Do you think we have time for another game? No. And then third game, you know what, we have enough time for another game. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do another game. So we ran another game. Reality Island, I did not change any of the theming, so that means that the bad guys were still werebros, the seer was the only person with Wi-Fi, the witch was a drunk, and the gardener just wants to make a connection and is handing out gifts based on whatever we're doing. I'm gonna go through the names here. Reality Island 2. So Queen, you played a character named Cecil Petite, who claimed to have been kidnapped by the aliens from, I think, Slaughterhouse 5, the ones that, like... Yeah, yes. Yeah, and you're like, and they experience time differently, so I got kidnapped, and when I came back, I had this kid. It's because of the aliens. I don't remember actually having him. And then Gail played Vincent Petite, so you were constantly insisting that this child wasn't yours and acting very stressed out, and the kid was equally stressed out because, his mom's constantly freaking out.
Jesus Christ, you could tell I was in university back then because it was all just literature stuff.
Yes, which was very funny because you made the reference and then I just went, so it goes, after you said all that, and then we just kept going. I really like Slaughterhouse 5. But yeah, so you had this big, so you did all that and it was this whole thing. This also means that the name Vincent is being said a lot in a scenario that Split Guardian is not even in.
Incredible.
Doc was in this one. We had Juno here as Robert the Boss, aka just Bob Ross. This made things very confusing because every time Scott's character would call me boss, Robert the Boss would go, "Are you talking to me?" No. Nissa played Mr. Help Take Kidnap Me. He had a very thick accent of some kind and died for he didn't die first, but he was the first voted off the island. Cammy played Julie Andrew, and she was going to sing, the sound of music on the beach and was then murdered. She was the first one killed. Kikyo played John. He was in the bathroom. And let's see her. Maiden played Antoinette Lulabelle. So that was all the people. And let's see here. Who was the seer? Did I write this down? I thought for sure I would have written down who the seer was. It looks like we didn't write down who the seer was, so I don't know who the seer was. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
They probably died first.
They probably died
first.
Yeah. But yeah, so here we are on Reality Island, and I think and Scott played Steve the intern, who was supposed to be introduced last.
Excuse me, Bill the intern.
Oh, Bill the intern. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you guys are just interchangeable to me. But yeah, you were Bill, the brother of Steve, and initially when I went to introduce you, I was told to introduce you, but you DM'd it to me to say to introduce last. You didn't tell everyone else. So I went to introduce Doc, and Alex was like, no, Scott's next. I was like, well, I'm supposed to leave him till last. Well, it would have been nice if we knew that. And everyone was like, yeah, why didn't we know? So I had to introduce Steve. I had to introduce Bill right then. And he immediately started questioning, why is someone being murdered? Why we're still doing regular reality show stuff? He introduced himself as an intern, and right as everyone's about to go to sleep, he goes, I'm here because I'm looking to see what happened to my brother. So we are really kicking in on this stuff. The host pointedly says she doesn't have a name, even as she's doing the reality show host thing. Cammy and Gail both offered suggestions, and I denied both of them. Like I said, continuity is hitting really hard. Doc says he's been on Reality Island before, and the host chides him for breaking the immersion. The cast talks like they want to leave, which the host takes very personally. Alex accidentally mutes the entire stream, because he's one of the bad guys.
Like I do.
Yes, very funny, actually.
Did you do that?
Because
I pressed the wrong button.
Well, actually, you said it's because, you said it was because we're like, if I type, I don't want people to think, well, Alex is typing, therefore he must be one of the bad guys in the chat. So you were worried about giving things away to the chat and not just the audience, and you accidentally muted the whole stream, not just yourself.
Oh, no.
I mean, compared to the many mistakes I've made, this is whatever. Let's see here. So, let's see. So Queen, you were one of the bad guys, and you get voted off. And when you're voted off, you explain that actually, no, you weren't kidnapped by the aliens. Vincent was just a one-night stand. You hate this kid, and then you get kicked, and then you die. You have so many characters where you're a mom who hates your child.
Oh my god, that wasn't even intentional, but it's so perfect.
Can I just say, if I had a nickel for the number of times one of Queen's characters had an affair, I'd have 2 nickels. Just no lie. But it's weird that it's happened twice.
Wild that it's happened twice.
Actually, no, that must have been it. I think there was a thing where I noticed there were 2 times where I had a kid I didn't want, so I was just like, fuck it, Grace just doesn't like
Grace
kids.
just doesn't like children. But yeah, so Bill keeps kind of pushing. Like I said, he's like, why are we doing regular reality show stuff when somebody just died? And, you know, of course, the host keeps pushing for it. Eventually, things, of course, get very intense. The third round, I say the sky is dark and the stars seem to have disappeared. Somebody mentions wearing a tie-dye shirt, and I say that the Reality Island logo on the shirt is dripping and morphing. It no longer looks like words. We are down to the very end. Like, if they don't vote off the murderer, then they lose. And so people ended up voting off Bob Ross. But it turns out that Bob Ross is the gunslinger. So he points his paintbrush and it turns out it's a gun. And he decides to shoot it at Doc. And Doc proceeds to, you know, do his big speech and kick off the plot. Which, you know, a number of things with that. First of all, because this was improv, this means that this speech includes JoJo's Vincent going, hey fellas, check out my cool camera, which is gonna haunt me until the day I die. But that's part of the canon. And Doc giggles, and then he goes, I almost had you, you know, and like, you really did. If they had not voted off Juno, there were like 2 other options. If they had voted off anyone else, you would have won. Which, like, you were genuinely so fucking close. And then you give your cool plot speech, and it's very cool, and I'm sitting there like, wait, what? And Alex is like,
whoa, Alex, why?
I'm like, why is he doing that? I mean, this is really cool, but okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I was very anxious, but I was like, okay, fuck it, this is really cool, let's just roll with it. So, Alex just does the thing, does the whole cool speech. After we end the scenario, I do the big oh, the show didn't, I say, oh, Bill, you think the show ran? No, it didn't. Why would a reality show air where people get murdered? That's insane. I sent you the tape that got you here. And then the island swallows everyone and everyone dies.
And yay, the end.
And then everyone gets super excited and yells, and Alex says, I hope you don't mind that I kickstarted the plot a little early.
You don't mind, do you?
And I was like, I mean, it's earlier than I don't think I said it's earlier than I would have done it on stream, but honestly, I am glad you did, because I have no idea when I would have I probably wouldn't have actually kickstarted it until episode 5, and, we needed to get moving, so you did the right move there. So yeah, and this is when, Gale designed Dr. McGillicuddy.
Oh my god, it was during the episode?
It was
during
the episode. And also, I'm here as Flux. So, like, that's how old this was. This drawing is of Flux.
Oh.
Yeah, wild.
This really, I thought this was Alex for the longest time.
No, that's me.
Yeah, me with my tank top bra open the door right now.
Yeah, and this was put on stream so small that I forgot this was here. So I forgot what this was until I saw it blown up when I was looking up research for this. But there he is, and then Meredy, who was a fan at the time, made this fan art that's the 2 of them, which is pretty cool, actually, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah, it is neat. And then Alex did this for some reason.
I could not tell you why I did that.
I don't know why.
Best guess, you were talking about a beach episode, and I'm like, okay, I got Doc's outfit for the beach episode.
Yeah. Makes sense. God. And
Beautiful.
Oh, this was fan art someone did of me being evil. I think it's neat. It's very cool.
Instead of 6 eyes, you've got 6 arms.
Right? But yeah, I
Yes.
told Alex to put this on the stream at the end of the episode, which it looks pretty cool. It is, however, not as cool as the one I did with Flux, which looks significantly better. But I was like, we can't use this one because Flux is a spoiler. So we're gonna have to just use me, I guess. And then at the time I was like, I guess I'm gonna have to make her look different because there's no way she can look like this. But I was like, I need something to put on stream, so I'll just do this for now, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's
Guys,
just
it's okay. I got this. Removes aviator helmet. Perfect.
there she is. That's all we needed to change.
Murder goggles, great.
Yeah, Flux. Yeah, but yeah, Flux is a spoiler for the thing that's definitely gonna happen. In the end, Murder God is a better design, so I'm actually really glad we were like, no, let's save Flux. I did end up taking some of her stuff and putting them into Murder God, but the directional lines on her hair here make this a lot more dynamic than this one is. So that's the thing I was really like, God damn it, this one does look much better, but oh well. So yeah, so that was a whole thing. We did it. We've officially talked about the stuff. And now that we've revealed the plot, it's time to look at the original sign-up sheet. Yeah.
Oh.
So I thought that the first plot thing I had was actually like our character sheet, but no, it turns out, so our sign-up sheet, I would just change the date every time we had an episode, and then I would leave these blank, and I would tell people to put in their names if they wanted to play, and then we'd have overflow folk, and then I would say what the theme's for. You'll see that this one says Internet Remix High and World War II Action Movie, because this was being edited up until episode 6. So the other stuff is lost. And then here's the plot stuff. So basically, this means come episode 3-4, I had written this down and I told people to send me plot stuff. And all I had people send me was your original name, your character's age, your character's family and or friends. Give me some names and bonds to mess with, and backstory. What was your character like originally? How did they meet the murder god? What did they wish for to end up in DMP? This can really be anything. You could have normal modern day person. You could be from a weird fantasy realm. Just give me a good story. Doesn't Google Docs have an editing history feature? You know what? That's a problem for someone who doesn't already have a lot of other things on this list. This is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, so...
Yeah, we're halfway through.
We are.
We're not even
halfway through, so I'll try to speed this up. But it's wild to think that, this is all I gave people originally. It's because at the time I wanted to make sure that we had time to we had space for folks to improv, since the rest of the show had been very improv heavy. And I was like, well, it can all just be really loose and we'll just improv all of it. That's not a good idea. That's a terrible idea.
Great idea.
There are pros and cons to it. On one hand, the looseness means we did a lot of cool stuff. On the other hand, the looseness means that some real chaotic things happened. We're not quite halfway through, but we're gonna take this moment to see... So it's interesting, because, the link for this was before episode 3, but episodes 4 and 5, I can't hear the Sexy Brutale music. So, I don't know when you actually started using the Sexy Brutale music. Oh.
I could have sworn it was episode 1. Could have sworn.
Nope, it's definitely
it
not episode 1. It was at least episode 3, because you sent me a test around episode 3. So, we'll share that in a second, but first, we gotta take a quick little baby break, because it's already 10 o'clock. I'm sorry for taking so long, guys. We'll BRB. BRB! Hello, everybody. Welcome back. And welcome to Alex showing me the Sexy Brutale test music and and also the wheel test. You ready? You ready? Let's do it.
Yay!
Yay! Let's do it.
Hello, and welcome to this sexy edition of Discord Murder Party. This is some music from the Sexy Brutale. Normally, you wouldn't hear my voice playing over it. This is just to demonstrate what it looks like. The playlist from the Sexy Brutale is the soundtrack set on shuffle and loop, so it's random what actually plays. But that's not what you're here for. What we're here for is the actual Discord Murder Party, which is this thing. Look at that transition. Look at how sexy that transition is. And as you can see in the lower right corner, there's an event list. It's kinda small, but there's not a whole lot of room for it other places, so I can live with that. In the meantime, let's test out what happens if I give some bits. Or rather, follow. Yeah, that happens. What normally happens, but also that thing happens. Confused? Good. I'm a confusing person. But oh no, we have to go on break. So let's show what the break screen looks like. It's basically the same thing as the starting screen, but the message says be right back instead of stream starting. And there's also still the Sexy Brutale music in here. Then we have another stream, or rather another screen. Not another stream, that would be awkward. We have the ending screen, which is this. It's basically the same thing, but there is no Sexy Brutale music, because this is the part of the stream where we're answering questions and talking to people like actual good entertainers or something. I don't know. God, how sexy this stream is.
I feel so wooed.
I feel very wooed right now.
I had picked up the scene transitions and stream overlay pack from I think Nerd or Die, and was like, yeah, the glitch effects work well for Discord Murder Party. This definitely fits the theme of Discord Murder Party. And did it? No. Did we ever change it? No.
I don't know.
Nope.
I feel like it fits. It fits because we kind of have some reality breaking elements. So I feel like it fits the kind of feeling of the separation of the fourth wall between the show and the audience. So in that sense, I always felt like it fit to me. I don't know, that's the vibe I felt it has. So it always felt correct to me. But yeah.
It works.
Yeah, also, this didn't feature testing for the wheel spins, but episode 3 is where we started using the wheel. So that's important to know.
Yes.
Okay, so episode 4. Episode 4 here is scenario 1 is Doctor Hospital, featuring
Yes.
I love this one.
Yes!
It's honestly it's one of my favorite early bits. It's so good.
Yeah. High key the best of the pre-plot scenarios.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Featuring Dr. McGillicuddy, of course, who appears, and then the host says, I want to tell a story where I kill McGillicuddy. I mean, sure, but it won't stick. What?
What?
Let's see here. Scott, you played Fido, the dog.
I do.
Queen, you played Wendy Colonna. You were a prisoner who was an inmate who was there, but you died first, so you didn't get to do much. You were maybe a little bit crazy. Juno played Dr. Barber, which Murder God found so annoying. She says she's always hoping that Juno's characters will die first, and Juno's character says, but I'm only one person? Haha, yeah! Sure you are! Split was there as Dr. Granger, whom we all remember due to his rivalry with Dr. McGillicuddy and the moment they had in the hot tub. No, we can never forget it.
No.
I've mentioned this before, but the remember the hot tub bit is something I just added to the fucking shipping extravaganza thing on a whim, and I thought this is kind of a dumb throwaway bit. There's no way anyone is gonna think this is funny, because I don't think I'm very funny. Little did I know I was making one of the most iconic things of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. God, I still love the reaction of me just going, but remember the hot tub, my good man! And I was fuck you. As Flint desperately tries to keep from laughing.
Yes, like he was trying so hard to not crack. So good. Nissa played Mr. Skelly, who was the gunsman, and
Yes.
one of his bones was one of the guns. Not Queen, what were you meant to do? Cammy played Nurse, and Nurse too, because she was the witch and she died, so she saved herself, and the way I decided to do it was that she died, and then her twin sister joined, because, you know, it's a soap opera. John was there as the gardener, and Xander was in this one. In this one, he played Intercom Joe. He was the seer, and I gotta say, he did not need to give away that he was the seer. The seer in this one is the psychic doctor, because one of the soap opera writers is really attached to their baby psychic doctor, and they're desperately trying to get a spin-off going. So, and he played so smoothly, revealing who Dr. Granger was, that he could have just kept going, but I guess Xander was too, like, high on his own power, and he's like, and I'm the seer, I'm the psychic doctor, by the way, yeah! And then, you know, of course he dies the next round. But he did not need to. He managed to convince people without saying he saw Split's role. Lastly, there's this person named Loki, L-O-K-E, it might be Loke. They were only in this one game?
Yeah, Loki was a chorus member in Chrono Trigger the musical.
Okay.
Oh my god. I did not even remember Loki ever being in the show.
Yeah, and neither did I. I was like, I don't even know who this is. Now, they weren't even in both scenarios this game. It was just the one. But yeah, in this one, you know, Dr. Granger sure is a murderer. Also, this is the first Casilda mention as St. Cassilda's Hospital, so apparently at this point I had decided that Murder God's human name was going to be Casilda. Let's see here. John continues to exist. He says he's sick. Doc remarks he's always in the bathroom. Murder God says not in this timeline. Murder God mentions, I only just started remembering your names. It's much easier when several of you are dead, and I don't know why I said that. I don't know what I was thinking here. Dr. Granger is revealed to be the murderer, and on the way out, he dramatically claims the sexy disease was meant to be a cure for John, because John's been sick all this time, and he dramatically says, I'm sorry for trying to save lives, before he dramatically leaves the hospital. Which, foreshadowing? Incredible. This was great, and also, of course, we did in fact vote Fido out of the show, and I can't believe we're going to have to put doesthedogdie.com Discord murder party. Yes. And yes, the dog does die, and then I go, who's a good boy who wasn't a murderer? Who was just a regular townsfolk?
We killed the dog!
We killed the dog, thus beginning a bit.
That will forever haunt us for the remainder of the series.
Yes. Scenario 2 was Inertia Pines, aka I really wanted to talk about both Gravity Falls and Twin Peaks. I really should have just done separate scenarios, really. For the rest of the show, I was disappointed that I did Gravity Falls so early, because I love Gravity Falls so much. Okay, so Inertia Pines. This was the first existence of Mr. Gick Millicuddy. Alex, why did you do this?
So, at this point, I had not seen Gravity Falls, because, like, I first saw it on Disney Plus, when it was streaming, and otherwise I didn't really, like, have much chance to watch the Disney Channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I had seen parts of Twin Peaks and knew basically the plot of Twin Peaks. So what I knew from the scenario is, a bunch of old weirdos in Oregon, Pine areas there. I'm great at geography.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Doc isn't the greatest fit here. What if I was just some other weirdo in the woods? Mr. Gick Millicuddy. And then I fell in love with the character midway through when he was doing the Mr. Blanket voice talking about the trash child. And came to you and DM's like, okay, so here's my character pitch for Mr. Gick Millicuddy. I know I sent you for Doc, but here's Mr. Gick Millicuddy. And you were like, I don't know, this might get a little complicated if you could somehow tie it in. And I was like, okay!
It's getting a little complicated. Did you, like, tie it into Doc somehow? I said, like a fool.
Oh.
God. Scott played Tom Wickerman. He was absolutely just the gnomes from Gravity Falls. You did a very good impression of Jeff the Gnome, actually.
Thank you. I don't even remember how I did it.
It was
but
very
okay.
good. Queen played Watson Ever, who has some plot stuff. We'll get to that.
Watson Ever.
Yes.
That's the name.
Juno played Alex the Angel, who is a Wendigo. And as I mentioned this, and then someone says Alex, and then Alex, as in our Alex, says Alex who? And then I'm like, no, Alex, the character Alex. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm sure this isn't going to get confusing when we have two people in this that are named Alex, and then also Alex the Angel, who is a Wendigo.
Yep.
The bad guys this scenario, by the way, were Wendigos.
This was around the time when I was making Man in a Tinfoil Hat videos to parody like really shitty game theories and game theory ripoff channels. And the leading one was in Bendy and the Ink Machine, based on no evidence, Alice the Angel is a Wendigo. And Juno was so tickled by that Juno was like, yeah, I'll make that my character.
Oh, okay, that explains it. Split played Clyde Richman. He died first. He was not the seer, though. Adric played Afton William, Nissa played Afton William, just William Afton, which is a bit, I did not get it all, because I didn't learn anything about FNAF lore until after DMP was over, so I blew right past that one.
Yeah, this would have been around Sister Location.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Bro,
Oh, Lord.
Bro was there as Old Lady Gertrude, playing a great old lady.
I remember,
And John was there. John was the seer in this one, and yes,
John
the
was
seer
there.
did die. So that's all of them. Let's see here. For the bad guys in this one, the murderers were Wendigos. The seer was a conspiracy theorist. The gardener, there was no witch because there weren't enough people. And the gardener was a fairy dust dealer because that's a Gravity Falls bit. Let's see here. Let me double check my notes. Okay. So, Queen, you were the first one to do plot hints in this one because Watson is clearly having a time and he's stressed out, keeps saying he's a failure of a detective and he doesn't want to be a detective. And you know, this keeps happening until eventually he gets voted off. And Murder God leads him outside, asks if he remembers. Grace pops out and says yes, and Murder God goes, oh, that's interesting, and then just snaps him away because she's not dealing with that. You did not ask me, you just did this.
Yes, so, I think many people in this series have had a moment where they've just been like, ugh, but whatever. This is the single scenario I absolutely refuse to watch.
Like, go ahead.
I think it was at the point when it was being voted off, I was just like, oh, fuck it, I might as well just say something, but, I just can't watch it.
I mean, you know what? It's good for the plot stuff. I understand why you're like, I never want to watch this again. I wish I'd been warned, but this was the time when we were still improving a lot.
Yeah. I think in the document you did say stuff like, oh, you can drop hints.
Yeah.
What I didn't understand that is be subtle. When
Yeah, that's what I meant. You just went for it, and I was like, okay, sure. I'm like, okay, I guess I just have to roll with it. It ended up being a good moment at the end. So it worked out. Let's see here. Murder God kept trying to call McGillicuddy Doctor, because she just assumed he was Dr. McGillicuddy, and McGillicuddy was just fucking with her. God. Watson got voted off. Murder God voted Watson out. And then the first ever wheel spin happened, which looks like it was for 1,000 bits instead of 2,000. I don't know when it became 2,000 bits. But Watson was immediately brought back with no memories because the whole thing was like, okay, the chat can choose to bring someone back. And of course everyone was like, bring back Watson! Because, you know, he was just telling plot bits. And I'm like, okay, but he's not telling any more plot bits.
Just solitaire his mouth shut.
God. I'm just imagining Murder God realizing the wheel spin means she has to put Grace back in the game, and she's like, fuck, gotta do a quick fix. There's this whole bit where Gick Millicuddy is trying to call out Xander's very obvious Wendigo behavior, because Xander was the bad guy in this one, and says, that's very Wendigo, no offense. And Alex the Angel, who's also a Wendigo, starts to be offended, and Gick Millicuddy says, I said no offense, that makes it okay. And we have a brief aside confirming that yes, no offense rules apply here.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a bit where Xander, who is like he owns the diner, he offers Murder God pie, and in this one, Murder God is the mayor and is also like Jill Cipher, that's her name. He offers her pie and he lists a bunch of flavors. She chooses cherry, which is the people one, and they're out. So then this extra bitch requests French silk, even though that wasn't on the pie list. It's not really important, I was just like, classic. Anyway, Xander is indeed a Wendigo. He does this scary cult chanting about the Great Circle at the end. I can't believe Baku tried to hijack my plot, SMH my head. Yeah. So this was honestly a very good episode overall. Definitely one of our stronger ones. It was good stuff. But now, we're on to the final episode here. Episode 5. Which was going to be on 420. And I knew that we were gonna need to go on a break after this because the book I was illustrating needed all of my time. So I was like, okay, we'll end with 420, and since it was gonna be on 420, I was like, okay, sure, why not? We'll do like a Reefer Madness thing, because I knew through the grapevine of bad movies that Reefer Madness was considered to be a funny bad movie, but I'd never actually seen it. I don't know anything about weed. I have not smoked a single weed in my life. I have never touched a substance. But I decided I was just gonna roll with it because fuck it, it was 420. So I proceeded to look up everything about Reefer Madness, and I looked up a bunch of like 1940s, 50s slang. And then I linked everyone to that 1940s, 50s slang. And that made that scenario really good, because everyone, like, really committed to being like, okay, we are pleasant 1950s folks who are definitely out to be good boys who would never do a drug. Notable for
there was Alex.
And then there was Rockstar Jesus.
See, you said we're doing Reefer Madness, and you were thinking of the original Reefer Madness movie.
Yes.
See, I heard Reefer Madness, and I thought of Reefer Madness the musical.
I didn't know there was a musical.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, there's a whole bit with a song called Listen to Jesus, Jimmy, where Jesus comes in as a rock star and is telling Jimmy, don't do a weed.
Fucking insane.
And I think he comes back when Jimmy goes to hell for doing a weed.
Yes. Yeah, and that one you're Rockstar Jesus, which canonically, you know, that would be Steven Cutter. But this also just feels like a very Chaos God just to fuck with her sort of choice.
Yeah.
Let's see here. This is the second mention of Casilda in Cassington, so we're really just committing to that early. Let's see. Our other characters we got Rockstar Jesus. Scott was Herbie Ashes. Queen was Trent Coate. Split was not Agent Waller. He is not an FBI agent. Nissa was Jebediah Eisenberg Jr. the Fifth. Bro was Jim, not to be confused with Darby's character, Jimmy Willikers.
Yeah.
Cammy was playing Catherine Harrionette. And, of course, we had John, who was there, and also, Izzy was there as Harold. So, of course, we were all doing our little bits. In this one, the murderers were, of course, drug pushers. The seer was a spiritualist of some kind. And then the witch was on the up and up with the Lord, also has a cat and smokes opium for medical reasons. And apparently, initially, the witch tried to save me, and I had Murder God say, no, you don't get to save me. I saved myself a long time ago, she said, like a liar.
Like a liar.
I already knew at that point when I had her say that, I'm like, she thinks she's got this shit under control, and she does not. She has not saved herself. She's in a very bad situation. But God, let's see here. For this entire show, Bro could not hear us through Discord. So Bro was playing a mute for both scenarios and was acting based on what Bro heard on the stream with the 10-second delay, and would then just type what his character did in the chat. Insane. Wild commitment. God.
Incredible. Incredible, honestly.
As we know, the witch did not save Jesus, which Alex took very personally.
Yeah.
And the Call Me Jim reveal at the end is iconic. Will be iconic to this day. Scenario 2 was the Spring Olympics, which apparently, I was scrolling through the Discord, apparently there was going to be a second scenario, which was going to be a Western, but I wasn't feeling it. I have no idea when it became the Spring Olympics, because in the Discord I was pitching Internet Remix High. So yeah, I don't know what happened there.
I don't know either.
Anyway, Spring Olympics rules. The murderers were saboteurs trying to, of course, get a better gold medal. The seer was a psychic sports star, in spite of psychics being banned from the Olympics, as everyone knows. The witch was a steroids dealer, and the gardener was a shy sport, aka just actually really here to make friends and share snacks. Spring Olympics, let's see here. Doc McGillicuddy was in this one. Scott was supposed to be our main plot hit as Percy Jackman, because, you know, his character's named Percy. Queen is playing Robinella Hood.
Hey!
Let's see here. Splits here is Charlie Erickson. Nissa is playing Yasmelin Zuckerler. No idea what that was supposed to be. Bro is playing Ping Pong. Let's see here. Sammy, Darby, you were Sammy in this one. Yes, I have no idea what your sport was. Cammy was playing Dory Tao, who had a whole thing with Charlie. Splits Charlie, I realized I need to clarify that. John was in this one. And then Chad Brolowski was there for Izzy. What a name. God, let's see here as I scroll through this last one. Once again, Murder God introduced herself as a newscaster announcer, name redacted, from Sunny the Island. Ooh, I should have read this earlier. I already fucked up. Anyway. A classic Murder God choice, really. Dr. McGillicuddy says his sport is tag rap, which is incredible. Murder God gets really sus when Percy shows up and she tries to laugh it off. She rhymes at the end of the night phase, begs for death, then says she can't die and she's stuck here forever. Doc is the very first person velociraptored by the wheel, but since he's the witch... Oh wait, no, he wasn't the witch. I don't know why I wrote this. Either way, he got attacked. So I don't know why I had him maul the murderer with his claws. He was not the witch. Oh well. It was cool. So anyways...
I'm a velociraptor.
Splits Charlie got kicked out. He didn't get to give a defense because we were running out of time, which arguably prompts the game break he proceeded to do. Because he proceeded to be like, it's fine, I'm gonna die, I know what she does, and I was like, ooh, that's some good drama. So then I banished him out of existence, and I was like, that actually had some really good drama, I gotta think on this. So I was thinking on this. Cammy read a tragic letter from Split's Charlie to everyone. I think Split must have just sent her a letter for her to read. I don't know. These two were just like that at the time. Cammy is always up to cause drama, and she's happy to do it with anyone who will help her cause drama. Let's see here. Queen does a peak Grace Garden move saying that Doc Velociraptor shouldn't be the leader because how can he lead if we can't understand him? Because, you know, he's bilingual, he occasionally does Velociraptor noises. Doc and everyone else calls her dinosaur racist while she protests and insists she's only being logical.
Yeah, why are you dinosaur racist, Grace?
Wow.
It was the most Grace Garden statement. Doc's argument to vote John out was pretty wild. You're good at dodgeball, therefore you're also good at dodging sharks. Therefore, we have to vote you out.
See, my logic was to go for everyone who was playing a solo sport and thus wouldn't have an alibi.
Oh!
And yeah, it stretched a whole lot from there. Not gonna lie.
That's great. Percy is hesitant to vote John out. Murder God growls, make a decision for once in your life, kiddo. Because I was like, okay, we're working with character stuff here right now. Yeah, this works. John gets voted out, and John says, congratulations, you just won the shortest game of werewolf ever. Murder God is annoyed as everyone celebrates. She stops time to say, hang on, this isn't a very good story. Dory, aka Cammy, says, bring Charlie back. God. And I go, that's a great idea. So I start narrating how everyone's events go, and I'm basically having Murder God be like upset and go, okay, fine. Dory, who had just been given the pox via the wheel spin, is suddenly okay. She's not gonna die. Everything's doing better. Everyone gets to have a happy ending, because that's what everybody wants. Everyone wants a happy ending. She confirms that Percy is only Percy Jackson, no one else. Percy references his brother, which Murder God says he doesn't have, and then she curses herself for saying that he doesn't have a brother, because maybe that's giving him a hint that he actually has a sister. We get to Robinella, who claims to remember when Doc McGillicuddy was Rocket Raccoon back in episode 2, and she shoots him with her bow and arrow. Doc, of course, does not remember this. Murder God panics and tries to insist Robinella doesn't remember anything. This was not planned. You just did this.
Well, to be fair, I did message you saying, hey, can I still take a shot? But
I mean, yeah, you did say that, but that didn't. I didn't know that meant you were gonna just declare you remembered things from episode 2.
Because I just thought that they were all his sleeper characters. I didn't realize back then it was all separate.
I'm like, you should not have been able to remember different scenarios at that time, but that's fine.
To be fair, there were a lot of things that were kept at about 4 to 5 arms lengths.
God. So Doc gets shot, and then while all this is happening, as I'm going down everything, I need to show you how small the prompt to split was. Like, I told him he either he was the seer, or I told him he was the towns, or he was the seer, so he checked someone that was a town folk, and then he died immediately, and then not quite an hour later, I just suddenly message him with no other prompting, you revive at the end of the list. Lit. Now, I say, and that's it.
That's it.
So Charlie shows up, everything freaks out, and, you know, Murder God freaks out about the game breaking, everyone starts freaking out, everything goes nuts, and then as everyone's freaking out, I DM Alex and I say, cut the stream. So we just cut the stream, and then we came back from the post-show, we just acted like nothing happened. You know, normal. Yeah, which honestly I think was very badass and very cool.
Nothing bad happened.
Yeah, and that was definitely DMP at its most, like, fuck it, we're just rolling with it. I realized I forgot to show. I realized I forgot to share the.
I was just gonna say that's actually the subheading
this
of the series. DMP. Fuck it.
Fuck it, we ball. Anyway, I forgot to share some of this, so I'm gonna share this art that Queen did back in 2018. Of Watson.
God. So this was back when I used to draw my 3DS with Pokemon Art Academy.
I mean, I will say it's impressive that you drew this on a 3DS.
God, the transition away from that was, I think, literally right as we were beginning Series 4.
God,
Oh.
and you drew a new picture to redeem yourself. It looks really cool.
Kristen messaged me about like 4 or 5 hours ago saying, hey, can we use this on the stream? And I was so embarrassed to see it that I just redrew it.
It's okay, you won't be the only one embarrassed by their old art. Oh yeah, this was some fan art for Dr. Hospital from Dino Jeff. It's beautiful. I love it. Thank you, Dino Jeff. We love this.
Thank you, Dino Jeff.
This was Cammy's art of Dory and Charlie from the Spring Olympics.
Oh, that's cute.
This was Dr. McGillaraptor. He's beautiful.
Excellent.
And this was the very first sketch of the Murder God that I sent everyone. So the Halo. Yes, the Halo. Which we were like, we gotta change how this looks, because right now it looks like she has a bun, and I was like, yeah, we need to fix that. Let's see here. F5 fan art. Do we have anything? Oh yeah, this was some fan art that somebody sent us.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, this was of like all the different characters, and then Murder God coming in to be spooky. It's good stuff. We love it. Yeah. Oh god, now I'm all zoomed in. Don't want that. So yeah. Other than that's all the visuals. I feel this is important, not necessarily because this is related, but because this was the point where like we were all like, Kristen's a violent being, and Juno drew this when everyone was telling me to go to bed, and I just felt this was important.
Can we get a live dub, please?
What?
Can we get a live dub, please?
Yeah. I have a life.
I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam. I am.
I'll kill you! Okay, and lastly, I don't think you remember making these, Scott, but you actually made this around like May or something, and I really like it. I think it's really cute. I just wanted to share it.
Oh, the parallels.
God. So we did it. We've gotten through all the episode 5, and now we have about a month and a half, 2 months. Well, I guess this was at the end of April, so about a month and a half to properly prep everything for season 5. Or not season 5, you know what I mean, episode 6. Yeah, this is
Season 5!
Actually, I've trapped you all in here because we're gonna talk about no. Yeah, so it's time for the hiatus before the plot begins. We have a lot of stuff to get through still, and it's only 10:30. So here's a question. How are we gonna get through all this?
Go as far as you can.
We'll do our
Just go as
best.
far as you
Yeah,
can.
we'll get through as much as we can. If we don't have enough time, then, we'll pick this up again next time. So...
No, you don't necessarily need to speed through it. Just get as far as you can, and we'll
Yeah.
pick it up where we left off.
Exactly. Okay, so after this, I got to have the fun thing of, like, telling people, okay, we gotta change the day the stream is on. When's the good day for everybody? And I'd like to ideally move these streams up to twice a month come June. To do that, we gotta pick another stream day, though. Let's have to fight Alex for the other non-Tomb Annihilation Friday stream, and he's much taller than me and is the boss man, and will probably win. So anyway, I need y'all to put down what evenings will be available starting at 7 p.m. CST. I'm moving Saturdays, that's usually my fiance's night off, and I don't want to be like, hey, it's great that you work for 3 weeks straight, but I gotta stream, bye. So, and that's how we ended up being on Sundays. History was made. Then we get to look at the actual character sheet, the official character sheet that I sent everybody after that one that was on the thing. So, I was like, okay, everyone fill this out, hit a file, make a copy, add in your information, send to Kristen. So, and this was my list of who filled out the form, so otherwise people were getting confused. Which, I gotta say, Darby, since you were only in like 2 episodes, I was really surprised when you were like, yeah, I want to be in this thing, and I was like, okay, sure!
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna read this out. The basic rundown. You were someone once. I don't know who. You were a person somewhere and you made a wish. The murder god came to you and offered to grant it for a price. You took the deal, and now you're stuck in this never-ending cycle of death and ridiculous stories. You cannot remember who you were or how you got here. But if you could just remember your name, that might change. If you remember your name, you keep your memories after every cycle. Some rules about this. Wait for your cue to start revealing your shit! I will try to give you a heads up via DM. This is kind of a loose rule if you feel the story moving in that direction. By God, we will yes, and this is somewhere awesome. I hope I changed my mind on this very early.
Yep.
Whatever you do, Murder God's word is still law. The mid-season finale where stuff started slipping won't be happening again for a while. None of you can just decide to not die or something. This is still her game and her domain. You can push back, you can absolutely poke at the borders and question her and try to figure out what's going on. Feel free to spend some time trying to push the rules and break the game. At the end of the day, though, if she says you're dead, period. If you push things too much, the Murder God will 100% just start trying to fuck you up in other ways. Death is not the worst thing that can happen to you. Remember to play the game. I absolutely want to tell some super cool spooky god story shit, but the game must be played. Above all else, just remember we're trying to make an interesting story. You're all very talented people, and I trust you to do that. If you have any questions, DM me. I'm excited for murder!
Whee!
And then it was like, what's your original name, your age, family and or friends, backstory, visual description, general arc. Do you have anything in mind for your character's development or what sort of story you'd like to tell? Reveal ideas. Any ideas for how you want this to happen? This could be a game scenario you'd like for triggering memories. It could be some other characters having names that matter to your character, etc. Anything else? Is there anything else you really want to see happen in DMP? I'll play a reflection, yes, no, which I think I initially pitched this as give me a role. I wasn't sure how to pitch this, like the whole idea that people, I needed folks to play like flashback characters. Eventually people figured out what I meant. Is there anything you're not really comfortable? TMP's getting kind of dark. Is there anything I should avoid with you? Oh, Nissa's here. God, I remember giving you ideas on how to fuck up Tommy and make people sad. Yeah, you were one of the people who was the most like, most people were just like, fuck me up, fam. Which is one of the reasons why I was actually really nervous about making Murder God, like, have a redemption arc, because I was like, eventually she's gonna have to be not mean, and then I'm gonna disappoint people who want me to be mean to their characters and make their characters sad. It was a whole thing. Normally I ask for more information with a character, but when I started this show, I was very not confident about like starting the show, because you know, I joined Internet Remix as an artist and as a writer, and now suddenly I was running a show, and like a couple of months into 2018, suddenly I was a part of the staff, and this was suddenly really rolling out of my control, and I was worried if I was too like, if I said no to things, people would be like, what the fuck are you doing, Kristen? You weren't a part of Man on the Internet. You're a descended fan. So I thought nobody would listen to me. So some things I agreed to, I would not have agreed to. I'm not going to get into all of it, but I'll say in general, there's a lot of choices that I made that in retrospect, like, even at the time I was like, this is maybe not the best idea, but I was like, I feel like I shouldn't say that. And, that's not good. If you're starting a show, just accept that you run the show and just say no to things. You can do that. You can just say no. So yeah, but this was, so that's the character survey. Very interesting. And now it's time for something very interesting. We're gonna listen to the very first DMP theme song. The one that Unirob made back in the day. So let's all listen. Thank you, Rob. So we're all gonna listen to this as a family. Let's do it. It's a little loud for me. There we go.
A quaint little village in England has only 12 residents. There's only one rule in this place, no animals or pets. But everyone's allergic to animal fur, and the dog is on the loose. And they need to find out who it is, or else their heads might as well be in a noose. Oh, sorry about that. Discord murder party, let's see who's gonna die. The god of death is ready to see who has to say bye-bye. It could be the rider or a nurse, but why does the seer always die first? Discord murder party, get ready for a game of blood and death. I mean, a fun game with friends and family, and where nothing bad ever happens. Right, guys? Right? There's a little press company who's in need for a scoop. This quirky band of writers are a very talented group. But a killer is on the loose right now, and the story is made of this. Now the boss won't call the police just yet, and the god of death is keeping them in this endless abyss. Seriously, what is with this evil voice right now? I have no idea what the hell is going on. Discord murder party, let's see who's gonna die. The god of death is ready to see who has to say bye-bye. It could be a rider or a nurse, but why does the seer always die first? Discord murder party, get ready for a game of blood and death. Why can't we just have one of these live streams where people don't die? Oh, but you're missing the entire point of the murder party, hence why it's called a murder party. People dying left and right is what makes a story good, be it thrown out of a window or losing your manhood. I don't see the problem with summoning the god of death. It makes these streams more addictive than crystal meth. Well, I suppose you're right there. Discord murder party, let's see who's gonna die. The god of death is ready to see who has to say bye-bye. It could be a writer or a nurse, but why does the seer always die first? Discord murder party, get ready for a game of blood and death.
Well,
Yay!
now that we've all been hit with the nostalgia hammer, yeah. So Rob was like in chat during episode 3, and he was like, "I want to write another song for IR," and I was like, "Make a Murder God song." We were like, "Yeah, make a Murder God song," and so Rob made this. And so this was like right after the episode 3, so that's why obviously the second scenario is talking about the magazine where we're looking for a scoop. So yeah, obviously it's great, instantly iconic. You may notice that the "losing your manhood" line changed, and that's because I was like, I think that might be a little. I think this might be a little transphobic. Let's change it to "stabbed out in the woods." So yeah, so I wanted to show folks what the original sounded like, though, just because, you know, most people don't remember that the line changed.
That was the first time for me hearing that, so yeah.
Yeah. Also, obviously, the whole bit, "Oh, but you're missing the point of the murder party, hence why it's called the murder party," and all that. Yeah, obviously, we changed that to some Murder God and Chaos God banter for the finale. Speaking of which, speaking of, like, you know, that whole speaking of a murder party thing, so initially I was like, yeah, we're gonna do like a full cover of this song, and we're gonna do the full thing, and we'll everyone will sing the song, and we'll have a whole animated thing that'll go with it, and that'll announce that the DMP's coming back. So I'm gonna show you this script, which, you know, you're gonna read this and you're gonna go, "Wow, I wonder why this didn't happen." It's gonna be very obvious why this didn't happen. So here it is, Discord Murder Party, the song, written and originally performed by Unirob, adaptation and script by Chris and Trawczynski. Open to a shot of everyone singing, plus the Murder God. Everyone looks cheerful and happy. The Murder God is strumming a ukulele, and it all looks very charming and sweet. We sing the first verse. Murder God coughs. Everyone stops singing and stares at her. Kikyo, what? Everyone continues singing as if nothing happened except for Kikyo. As the chorus proceeds, one or two people begin to trail off and look a bit concerned. We do the chorus. Murder God says, "Does a fun game night with friends when nothing bad happens, right, guys?" Everyone, you know, agrees. Everyone goes back to being happy. Woohoo! Once again, people start to look concerned as the lyrics get a bit violent. And then Juno asks, "What is with these lyrics? I don't." The chorus resumes. More people were getting concerned about how this is going. We sing the chorus again, and then Scott asks, "Do you want to say your line, Scott?"
Why can't we just have one of these live streams where people don't die?
Murder God leans in, getting in Scott's face as she continues to strum the ukulele. "Oh, but you're missing the entire point of a murder party, hence why it's called a murder party." She proceeds to sing the people dying left and right bit. As she sings, she gets in someone else's face, drapes against a person, then shoves them away so she can throw her arms out animatedly as she sings. It's all very over the top. At the end, she gets very intense and multiple eyes pop open on her face as she grins evilly. It's almost like this is a lot of directions that someone's gonna have to draw. Everyone stands inside. I do the whole bit. More addictive than crystal meth. Everyone stands in silence while the Murder God poses and grins, abruptly looking normal again. Finally, Split shrugs. "You're right."
You're right.
Everyone continues to sing, but they all look distinctly uncomfortable at this point. Everyone sings the chorus. Everyone stands for a moment, looking relieved as the song has finished. The Murder God beams as she pulls out a knife.
Well, that was odd, but at least it's over.
Oh god, she has a knife! Cut to Discord Murder Party title as improvised screaming and general chaos noises proceed over the cheerful ukulele.
Discord Murder Party, a fun game night with friends where nothing bad happens. Also known as Mafia and or Werewolf, role-playing, and nerds. Streams start at 7 p.m. Central Time every second and fourth Sunday of the month, featuring chaos, murder, and of course, Dr. McGillicuddy!
Get out of my game, you insignificant meat sack.
You can't stop me forever, you know!
It's cute that you think that. Adorable. Wow.
Ow.
God. So obviously, this didn't happen. It maybe needed more assets than I thought it would need in the course of a month. Though to be fair, back in the early days of IR, I feel like a lot of us did not have the best understanding for, like, you know, how much time and assets things would need.
Yeah.
We didn't know. It's a lot of work. So yeah, that did not work out. The actual announcement ended up being like much shorter, but I don't think we need to watch it actually, since like it's just the intro that I showed at the start of the show and then that bit at the end that Alex and I just performed. So we cut it down to the chorus, Murder God saying, I mean a fun game night with friends where nothing bad happens, and then we're like, oh boy, the show's coming back, yay. So that's cool, and we did that. And the only other very important thing I have to show from the hiatus that was public, at least, was, you know, the greatest performance I've ever given in my career. Doesn't get much better than this. Let's do it, gang. I need to get my chat out of the way so I can see this.
Hello! I'm the Murder God! Welcome to Discord Murder Party! Yeah! It's a fun party game for the whole family!
Oh, please kill me first.
Not me!
Jesus fuck! Apparently,
Okay.
Phil just took. Oh, wait, there's more of this shit.
Okay, and finally.
Finally!
And finally,
Because I couldn't stop, apparently. I was like, oh no, I did this for a little too long. I'll never forgive myself. Okay. But yes, there you go. That's hello. Welcome to Discord Murder Party.
Hello.
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 Thus dooming me to have to do hello endlessly. I never got to stop doing hello. Oh my god.
Just hello all the way down.
Hello all the way down. God. So this is so that's all of the front facing stuff. We have not actually gotten to all the big picture stuff, but honestly, the big picture stuff, there's so much of it that we should probably wait until next time. Because Alex and I have to go over a lot. Oops.
I guess we could save big picture stuff for next time.
Yeah.
Look over to see. We got asked some questions.
We did, yeah, in the Q&A.
In the Q&A, and like if those aren't going to be addressed in the big picture stuff, we can work with those.
Yeah, let's look at these. Okay, we're gonna look at the questions in the DMP Book Club Q&A, and if any of these are not answered, and you guys have questions that we can maybe answer today, we'll take them once we're done going through the ones that are in the fan server.
Excellent.
Okay, so, oh my god, unfortunately now I'm trying to get this person's actual fucking name. What is your name, aside from just being your free will is an illusion? I'll never know, I don't get to know what their name is because I'm streaming.
Kaylee.
Thank you. As someone who was completely floored / hooked by the gradual existence of the plot, exactly when did you decide to start up a narrative and make characters? Was it before or after episode 3? As that is the moment where the idea of past games are all interconnected in canon and we remember them came into play. The answer is I started roughly having the ideas episode 1. I mentioned the idea, the concept of plot offhand to Alex, and then Alex, you know, thought he was picking up the signs of me going, yeah, sure, Doc is here forever, as I should start the plot now. God, no, it's okay. It was the right move. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen actually because I don't need to share this stuff.
I don't need to share the screen. We can look
Yeah.
at the thing.
We can look at the thing. Okay, so next. So yeah, that answers that. Checkmate asks, is there any crack lore between Dr. McGillicuddy and Dr. Granger that's not revealed to the world? Gotta ask because, you know, have you forgotten the hot tub, my good man?
Unless Split has thought of any, the answer is no. Listen. Split and I were the masters of just throwing out bullshit into the world of Discord Murder Party and seeing what sticks. So I don't think, even if there was lore, any of us actually planned it. It just exists because we say it does at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
There.
On a more serious note, when Charlie, Vincent's sleeper, first showed signs of waking up, Doc yelled, "Finally, I'm not alone." We at this point know that Doc probably have met other failed awakened in his past, and that was probably an improv line for S1. But is there any extra insight on Doc's emotions at this stage that's worth sharing? Maybe how highly he thought of Charlie/Vincent at this moment, or maybe feeling some hope after not feeling anything for a while? Look, I just really love Doc and would love to get any lore tidbits about his thoughts.
So you gotta understand, I was making Doc up on the fly. Doc's story was like finalized as we were going into season 2.
Yeah.
I had the basic steps of it when we were thinking Discord Murder Party was gonna be a lot more cartoony than it ended up becoming. So, like, at that point, I was just under the impression that, people didn't wake up around Doc. And then I was told, that lore is not accurate. To which I was like, okay, are we going to address this in canon? Nope!
Sort of. I mean, it
sort
comes
of.
up later, so sort of.
Yeah, sort of. It comes up later, and then I have to justify, finally, I'm not alone. So my thought process behind this now is no one woke up for a while before Vincent woke up.
See, that's so interesting, because for me, when Doc yells, "Finally, I'm not alone," my brain took that as, for some reason, my brain legit just filled in, yeah, people have woken up before, but Doc's been alone for a while, and I don't know why my brain decided that's just what was happening. Like, maybe that's just what I would, like, and I can't say how much of that is accurate and how much of that is, like, you know, retroactively the case, because there's already stuff going through our DMs where I'm like, I thought that was already set by this point, but I guess it wasn't. So, fuck if I know.
Yeah.
But when you went, "Finally, I'm not alone," I swear at the time I was like, yeah, because, you know, he's dealt with it before, but I could be wrong. Let's see. Another one for Doc, sorry, he was still at his hot stage this season. At what reason was it decided that Doc's funny character, which is the byproduct of CG fucking him up, the concept of Dr. Doomagildy, was developed. I think that's a later problem. That's a later problem. Was he always intended to have a more real side to him, or was he originally intended to be more cartoon relief? Well, his name is Dr. McGillicuddy, and he says what, so...
Yeah.
And remind us again what his name was based off of again?
Yeah, I was gonna say, we were very lucky that we didn't get Dr. McLickertitty in my attempts to make a funny doctor character.
Yeah. Let's see here. In the early seasons, there were a lot of donations that managed to influence the genre/vibe of a scenario. We see this carried over in later seasons, even crucial and important scenes, i.e. Kyle the Warriors War scenario. What inspired this narrative decision? It's a really genius decision, and the world building around it was great, and I adore DMP for its meta experimentation, but is there an extra line of thought, theme, interwoven into this decision that's worth sharing? World building made me... It was literally just, okay, we need to give people reasons to give us money, and I thought that opening things up so the chat could influence, like, the thing about streaming is it's meant to be at least a little bit interactive, and I didn't want to make, and you know, we're not having, like, the viewers actually play the games, so allowing people to contribute creatively seemed like the best way to make that happen. When it comes to the narrative, so we're gonna get into this later, but part of my initial pitch was the idea that Murder God, like, one of the original ideas I had for her was that she's basically trying to make it out of her reality into the reality that the chat is in. So another part of, like, basically having the game interact with the chat is because the idea here was that you are interacting with Murder God, and as you interact with her, you make her more real and make her potentially able to cross from her world into yours. Obviously, that ended up not really happening. That was I just played Doki Doki Literature Club. I was gonna get into this more later, but I had an idea that, like, as she got more real, I would ask the IR Patreon server for, like, information about themselves, so they'd be okay with sharing, and then I'd just have her, like, you know, drop names and information that she should not know because she's reaching into the other reality. Ooh. Which is a really cool idea, but it's a little, obviously as DMP became more narrative focused, that level of like looseness was kind of dangerous. So
I was gonna say, if we were focusing more on like an...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if we were focusing more on like an ARG, like creepypasta story or something, that could have worked really well.
Exactly, yeah, but we ended up not really doing an ARG creepypasta.
And granted, that there were elements of ARG within the series, but at that point, once you start getting into that meta territory, it can also come off a little doxy.
Yeah, there's also that. I didn't even consider the fact that it could be doxy at the time. I was just thinking I just really liked playing Doki Doki Literature Club. That's literally all I was thinking. But yeah, like, it's a cool idea, but as it became more narrative focused, and also as I realized, as people started offering ideas, like as we started getting things from the chat, I realized, oh, I can't let people influence any more than they already are. We already had a wheel spin and had we already had wheel spins that gave Murder God a conscience and just made Nissa drop her character when I was not planning on that happening. So I gotta dial back a little on the chat influencing this thing, or I'm not gonna be able to make this story coherent. So there's that point. So basically early on I went, no, chat does not have that much power over her, and I cannot ever allow them to have that much power. And then for the next 4 years people went, the chat is the next Black Star, actually. And it was very annoying.
You're the Banana King.
Anathema, aka Ray, asks, what parts of Murder God's backstory were planned in the early episodes? I remember you mentioning some of the elements of her backstory were thought of in early episodes. I'm curious exactly what parts were from near the start. We'll get into this more later, but I'll say at this point, obviously, Casilda gets mentioned in 2 separate episodes, so that part at least was for sure in the canon. And that one was in the canon because the comic that Xander and I worked on talked about the King in Yellow a lot, and there was an actress in it where, like, Dr. Augustine, the villain from Xander's Call of Cthulhu stream at the time, was trying to get this actress to join his play, and she was going to play Casilda, the queen of the island and the island of Kadath in the King in Yellow. So I was like, yeah, I'll have her be named Casilda. That'll be a fun little Easter egg. But yeah, let's see here. Let's see here. I know this isn't technically an early episodes question, but was the Order of Everyone's Awakenings pre-planned after Doc initiated the plot? No.
No.
Nope. I'm gonna get into this more when we get into episode 6, but like I actually have stuff from mine and Split's DMs where I'm like, I think I'm gonna have you wake up first, actually. And it's like within a few days of Vincent being woken up.
Wow.
Let's see here. Yet another one for Doc. It's interesting how in episode 3 he says, I almost had you, to the villagers when he was caught, implying that he, to a degree, cared about whether or not he's winning a game. Is there any insight to be shared about that? Whether or not Doc cared, whether or not the games are his only form of entertainment, so on and so forth. This is an interesting thought, even if I know this isn't fully, like, your thought process at the time. Like, even retroactively, it's an interesting thought.
Yeah, so, like, at the time, I was not fully developing that Doc no longer cares what happens to him. He's not in the full depressive spiral that he goes through in season 3. So that Doc did not exist at that point in time. I, on the other hand, am a competitive gamer, and probably a little bit of me was talking through I almost had you, As for an in-character reason why he might have said that at that point, Doc is the smartest person in the room, and he knows it, and he, will remind you of that, so that was probably him being like, sure, I lose, but I'm super fucking smart!
I kind of took it as, the dude has such a miserable existence that, at the very least, he can win. Winning the game is literally all he has right now.
Yeah.
He may as well win it, Werewolf. The thought of season 3 Doc playing Mario Party. My heart.
No one gets any stars while I'm around.
No one gets any stars. Okay, Fennec asks, Usually when playing Mafia, Werewolf, insert your favorite social deduction game here, people tend to just play the game as themselves. DMP is unique in having this storytelling aspect from episode 1 just due to having the players RP and play characters while playing Mafia. Is this decision something that was made for DMP, or is this how Kristen usually hosted this in the past? The character stuff started coming in little by little. The first couple times I played, I had people who played into it a little bit, and every time I run Werewolf, I would usually do some kind of scenario, and depending on who I was playing with, they might give themselves roles or give themselves crazy names. And since that was already a thing that happened relatively often, I was like, well, in this case, I'm objectively playing with a bunch of theater kids. So I'm just gonna have everyone embrace this.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Similar to the basic DMP role list is pretty much just standard werewolf role list. However, the Gardener is a role that I don't think I've seen anywhere outside of DMP. Is this an original role? I mean, the Gardener was in my pack of werewolf cards. So I don't know why the Gardener was not in your werewolf role list, but it was in my, like, these were packaged cards. So I don't know. Besides the later wheelspin roles and the witch getting swapped out for bodyguard, did you ever consider changing the role list? No, because that's just what I usually played with, and I think it's like the best option for a 10-player game. At least until people start knowing each other too well, in which case you have to start nuking some roles, otherwise, like, we're never gonna get anywhere. Let's see here. From what I remember, season 1 episode 3 is the only episode to have 3 scenarios, largely because the first 2 went very quickly. Was having 3 scenarios as a possibility for this intended to be the case for future episodes, or did you decide 2 max at a certain point? We played that one episode that had 3 games, and I realized we cannot do 3 games every single stream because streams are exhausting. There's a difference between playing 3 games of Werewolf and playing 3 games and everyone's doing characters, and also I'm managing a stream, and also there's plot shit happening. It was a choice partially for time and partially for me. I realized I love running Werewolf, but I don't love running Werewolf this much. Let's see here. This may be better saved up for the next book club when the First Awakening happens, but I know Murder God and the Black Stars came into the picture, but how did you go from the concept of Mafia with an overarching plot to the specific idea of the Awakened and the whole story structure? I mean, like, I don't know how to say, it's just like, it just sort of came pretty naturally, I feel like, once Alex was playing Doc over and over, I was just like, okay, so all these people are here, they're all the same people, and they have changing faces, and, you know, one by one, they'll wake up because that's interesting. I can't really think of much else related to that. It's just, it was so long ago, and it feels so, like, engraved into my bones that I couldn't tell you much beyond that, unfortunately. And that's all the questions. There are,
right.
Yeah. And we're 7 minutes past end of stream, so I'm actually gonna call it there. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to add them to the book club Q&A, and we'll try to get to them next time. Next stream we'll be discussing preparing for the plot and episode 6, because I think between those 2 things, I think that'll probably take up most of the time, because that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know if this will be next Sunday. It depends on if we have Deltarune on Wednesday. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Next Sunday might be Deltarune. Next Sunday might be DMB as opposed to DMP. We'll find out. DMB.
Discord Murder Book Club. Let's see who's gonna book.
Yeah, it's the Discord Murder Book Club. Let's see who's gonna book. So, yeah, thank you everyone for joining us for Discord Murder Book Club. Let's see who's gonna book. Tune in on Wednesday for, I guess, either Deltarune or Sibling Power Hour, and see you next Sunday for either Deltarune or Discord Murder Book Club. Yeah. So, good night, everybody. You only need to watch episode 6 to prepare, so significantly less homework this time. All you guys gotta watch is episode 6. So, see y'all then. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye.